But Jalen Johnson arrives at every game, designed head to toe by a personal shopper and a personal designer. So he's got some ins. And if you guys remember last year, it was Kristen Juszczyk, whose husband played for the Chiefs, who designed the coat for Taylor Swift for the Chiefs. So we're on getting the GOAT a new coat. I'm all over it.
She didn't have a coat?
She had a Green Bay Packers coat on. Right. Simone Biles today on the sidelines had, but it was Jonathan Owens. It was all about her husband. But it was
pictures of him on there too.
Yeah.
His face is on there.
This is shameful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yes, but we'll let it go. We'll let it go. It's preseason.
I have a coat with Peggy's picture on it, and they just won't let me wear it anymore.
I have a coat with Taylor's picture on it.
Oh my gosh! Hey, how about that throw by Caleb to Williams-Odunze?
I give it about a D-. I don't know.
Yeah, he's channeling his best Jericho right now.
Yeah, what would Johnny Ballgame say?
Oh yeah,
it was fantastic. I mean, if that doesn't get you excited, boys, I don't know what will.
Again, the accuracy. That's the key. I mean, he just has a feel for that deep ball stuff, and I just love the where his eyes go at all times.
Yeah, going to his left.
To his left and still squaring up.
That's great.
That's what.
Listen, I know I got a message from one of the people who work for the Bears, Tyrone Hill. Caleb Williams, so nice. He remind me of, and there's a picture of Patrick Mahomes. So and now we go into Kansas City on Thursday. It'll be all the rage. That'll be the topic of discussion.
It's not just you, JJ. There are when you guys get off the air, you'll see on social media all the national people that were watching the game and glowing about Caleb Williams and his creativity and his eyes down the field and making these throws again.
Yeah, and Ryan Poles got a message from somebody in the NFL as well, and he showed it to me while we were talking to him. It says, "Hey, this guy's gonna be a lot of trouble." Okay, we got Coach Eberflus. He's ready to go down in the locker room. Matt Eberflus joining us after a 27-3 win and a 3-0 start of the preseason. Matt, a fun day here at Soldier Field, in and out of the rain and sunshine, but a lot of great things done team-wide today, including special teams. But let me start with my most favorite play in football, the corner blitz, because you sent the troops today. The corners were blitzing and making quarterbacks pay. Wow, that was a nice wrinkle today. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, the guys did a nice job on defense. When you get 3 takeaways, that's always good. But more importantly, we scored a touchdown and 2 field goals off of that. So that's complimentary football. We also had a punt and pin where we held them down there. And then we scored another time that way using a short field. I know Dante wish he had that return back, but he sure made up for it with a couple touchdowns and a couple really nice routes that he ran.
On today, not only talking about what Caleb did in the first half and, making it possible for him to play the full half, given how the lack of plays in the first 3 series went into that decision, adapting to that. And then Tyson Bagent having a very good, strong, with 2 good touch throws to Dante Pettis.
Yeah, I thought Caleb had a really good professional day today, so the operation was clean. We didn't, have any penalties, no pre-snap penalties coming out. Took care of the ball. Every time he was in there, we ended with a kick. In terms of his disposition, in terms of him, when you go three and outs in a row, his demeanor on the sideline was great. He was working to solve problems on the sideline. And then we got Rome going there on that reverse, and then a big fade ball over the top. And, so I thought he did a really good job in terms of functioning as a quarterback today. And it's, not every day is going to be all completions all the time. And, you got to go through that and experience that. But Bagent came in, as you said, did a really nice job connecting with a lot of guys, and certainly with Pettis. And I thought we did a nice job running the ball today. It wasn't awesome, but we always do a good job running the ball. And Herbert had that nice cutback run. But overall, as a football team, I thought on teams we played well. I was really proud of the way Torrey was on those holds, those high snaps that he got him down. And Kyra was able to connect on a 37-yarder and a 51-yarder. So that was really pleasing for that because, that's not as easy as it looks. But overall, it was a solid day.
Matt, I don't know what you think about it, but I think it helps a team mature when you stay uncommitted to the amount of reps they're going to play before the game. And then if they do have a slower start, that they stay in the game, and they got to stay mentally in the game and, coming out of the locker room, not understanding exactly how many plays it's going to be. How do you feel about that, and what'd you think about, being able to keep him in for a couple more?
I think it's a really good way to do it, to approach it, because, I said it the other day at the presser, you got to see the ebb and flow of the game. And, you have a pitch count, a range that you would like to see the guys play, and the ebb and flow will dictate that. So if it's, you're doing really well and you don't do some things, that might be a little bit lower as you go. And again, if it's, back and forth a little bit, you may stay in a little bit longer. So I think it's a really good thing. The guys just want to play football, just line up, put the ball down, let's play.
I know it's early. Do you have any plan in place for Thursday?
Yeah, not right now.
Okay.
We'll look at the tape and we'll sit down as a staff and really look at it. I know the players got the day off tomorrow, so we'll really comb through it and get all the coaching points, because every performance you got to learn, you got to grow, and you got to improve. So we're looking to do that this week.
In preseason, when you're playing 90 guys and, time of possession, your opponent has 33 minutes, you got 26 minutes. Total plays, you have 137, your opponent has 174. Is that something that's coachable, or is that something that works itself out when you get into the regular season?
I think it does. It comes, that time of possession is that's a team deal. It's not, everybody always looks at the offense. Well, the defense has got to do a good job on third down. I remember the first game, in the Hall of Fame game, they had two long drives to start the season, and that was because of our lack of third downs. And, so we just got to do a better job there. Got to get off the field and 3 and out. That's what we're always searching for on D, and obviously have long sustained drives on offense and getting first downs on first and second. And then when it gets to third, you make the conversion. So it's a team stat.
How much did you enjoy seeing Kyler out there and playing with his hair on fire? You guys play. I know it's your thing, play fast, but they were playing fast, and the whole secondary is making plays and big hits, and Reddy Stewart. I mean, your depth at this is going to make some very interesting decisions by you guys.
Yeah, that's the way those guys, we operate. That's our lifestyle. It's not like we just show up on Sunday and play fast. If you come to our practices, you would see that us finishing, doing things the right way, playing full speed, and our guys are, working to get into game speed, and we're not there yet. We got a lot of work to do coming up here in these next few weeks to get ready for that first one.
How has it been working with Eric Washington? I know he is the title of defensive coordinator. You're going to be the play caller in the regular season. How's that connection worked? I spent some time with him the other day, just talking about how you guys meet and decide your plan before every game here, the two of you.
Yeah, it's been great. You have a professional like that's been in the sport for a long time, and he's been elite at his position, being a defensive line guy. I think that's really helped our guys up front, with Travis obviously being our main D-line coach, but having the expertise there in the front, I think it's really improved our guys, and I think it really helped us to develop those young guys. And I think it's, tremendous in terms of him helping me get things set up so I can spend time with the quarterback and I can do things on offense and special teams as well.
All right. Well, Matt, nicely done today. Trying to go 4-0 in a preseason for the Bears for the first time since 1994. Good luck this week in your prep. We'll talk to you in Kansas City.
All right, guys. Always good to visit. Thanks.
Thank you. Matt Eberflus, the head coach, Peggy and Carmen now to take over. You guys didn't even get a chance to we're moving fast here in the third preseason game.
I see Peggy with a glass of wine and Carm with a he's always talking about whiskey or a highball or something.
Yeah, he sure is.
What
do you recommend for me tonight, Carm? What do you got?
Whiskey wise?
I don't know. I mean, give me something. I'm gonna go right back to the grind. I got to get ready for Kansas City on a short week.
Quick turnaround.
So I am going to sit at home and I'm going to sip on something. What do you recommend?
Cocktail it up. Make yourself an old fashioned. Use something 100 proof, right around 100 proof. That's a good proof point for a nice cocktail. Maybe go like some old granddad bonded or something like that, And it's a perfect Saturday night to get ready for a game next week on the quick turnaround.
It's a rainy day, JJ. So go home, crack open a nice Bordeaux.
There you go. Now you're talking my language.
A little bit affordable, like a Chateau de Pez, and
that sounds expensive.
No, it's not.
Chateau.
God bless
Chateau
you.
de Pez. It's
under
$50.
Chateau de Pez.
I'm telling
How much?
you, it's under $50. It's a nice
That'd
Bordeaux.
be okay. That would be in my budget.
I'll bring you a bottle.
Peggy, I need like the $18.99, Peg. I mean, come on. Give me a Chateau
by the way,
for about $18.
All right. Well, you can find a guy on the corner that has a bottle of that, all right?
Wordle in 3 today for me, Peggy, but I should have had it in 2.
I got Wordle in 1, and I texted JJ 2 days ago.
Yeah. You nailed it in 1?
And my first guess.
Damn.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a good day.
Yeah.
Hey, have we ever had this
You know
much
what the
fun
word
in the
was?
preseason?
What was
No,
it?
you know what the word was? We could say the word now
Yeah.
because it's over.
Yeah.
Acorns
Acorn.
was her word. Now,
Acorn.
what made her think of acorns is what I want to know.
I don't know. Yeah, how
That's
did
what you start out with in Wordle? Acorns?
I was thinking of starting
I
a
like it,
word
though.
with a vowel, and I thought, you know what? Let's go crazy today and start a word with a vowel that hasn't been used. And acorn
All right,
just
well,
came out.
Should be
There's only
Caleb.
one vowel in win, and the Bears won today. We'll hand it
you're
off to you
good.
guys.
You're so
27-3.
good.
Enjoy, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks, JJ, Tom Thayer, and JJ at Soldier Field for us. I got to tell you, though, never has the preseason been as fun as we are experiencing. That's the first time in years that it's been very interesting watching these games.
I mean, they've looked sharp for what it's worth. I mean, it is preseason. And I think, today, for example, you're playing a team that decided not to play its starters. You should get off to a fast start. You should look good. They didn't offensively, but defensively, like Jeff and Tom were saying, I mean, they were flying around. I mean, Kyler Gordon, the best way to describe it is as Joniak did, hair on fire. I mean, now, again, they should have a little bit of an advantage, and maybe you're scheming a little bit more than the opposition was. The blitz rate was incredible. You tend to not see that much in the exhibition season. I love corner nickel blitzes. I do. I love it. I mean, they were not shy in pass rush situations to say, we're going to bring some heat, and it led to some mistakes by the Bengals and some takeaways for the Bears. And but I can't. I'm with you, Peg. Like you said it as the game was winding down when they got to the 2-minute warning. Like, this is the most impressive they've looked in a preseason, again, for what that's worth, in quite some time. I can't ever remember them looking so determined. And I can only take that as a good thing compared to what we saw last year. We saw kind of a sleepy exhibition season and a sleepy training camp.
Yep.
And then they laid a complete egg on opening day.
Opening the season 0-4.
Yeah, right. And so this has got a much different feel, a better feel, and I hope it leads to something much better in 3 weeks when they do open up the season against Tennessee. I think it will.
Back-to-back games now where the defense does not allow a touchdown, and the coaches call an audible in this one, allowing Caleb Williams to play an extra quarter to work the kinks out. He gets his first NFL touchdown in his Soldier Field debut. We are going to open up the phone lines, 312-332-3776. You are listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Rockford's been waiting more than 30 years, and the wait is over. Now, we're ready for the main stage. Hard Rock, a brand that creates authentic experiences. World-class gaming, including nearly 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, renowned food and beverage with 7 diverse dining options, a sports book, and a state-of-the-art multi-purpose venue. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, open Labor Day weekend. The ultimate entertainment destination. Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
With 3 locations to serve Chicagoland, Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Hodgkins. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer upon arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
Tito's handmade vodka on game day? Pour me in, coach. From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. No matter who's on your roster, lineup, or lucky jersey, make Tito's your first-round bottle pick. Whose house? Tito's house. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Bears Friday starts with Cap and J Hood at 7 a.m. ESPN Chicago.
Let's head back to Soldier Field where Jason McKee has our Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana locker room interview. J-Mac.
Here, Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. Caleb often started to sputter early maintain composure. And I even saw you on the sideline. You never got frustrated in between plays. You know, you kept the vibe, you kept the huddle intact. Where did that poise come from?
Yeah, the poise honestly comes from a lot of hard work, understanding. You know, in practice, I may get a little bit more frustrated than I do in games. So it's understanding the situation. We're in a game. It's game time. You know, there's no need to be freaking out. It's going to happen throughout the year. It's going to happen in games where offense stalls. And, you know, obviously we don't want it to. And obviously definitely not on the first 2 or 3 drives. We don't want the offense stalling and things like that. So, you know, we got to get better. I got to be better for the guys. And, you know, we'll definitely be better.
Break down the big 45-yard pass to Rome. You know, pocket collapse, you broke contain, you found him along the sideline for a big play. Break down that play for us.
Yep. So I believe the safety was in the middle of the field. I knew they were man, especially when the safety rotated down and he wasn't fully pressed, but he was about 5 yards away. I knew Rome was going to be one-on-one on a route that, you know, I believe in Rome. And we actually kind of messed up on the route. Rome went a little more shallow than I thought he was. I wanted, you know, the corner had outside leverage. I wanted Rome to go over the top and just, you know, he had a free release to go over top and run towards the end zone. And, you know, we weren't on the same page. And, you know, things happen obviously. And we after, you know, the big completion, we got to the sideline, we talked about it and things like that. So next time we'll be better for sure. But, you know, that's why you draft, you know, Williams-Odunze to go out there and make plays like that. And, you know, we just made it work.
A lot of reps this week, obviously the joint practice on Thursday, game action here, you played for a half. Has the game slowed down for you in any way?
I think going versus, you know, the defense that I've been going versus for the past, I really don't even know. I guess 3 months. I've been so stuck in camp with OTAs and camp, 3 months or 2 months or so. Seeing them every single day, and you obviously can see them out there. Obviously, they aren't showing, you know, crazy things or crazy blitzes for these teams right now because they also understand the situation that is preseason and things like that. But they are gearing up, and you can see how explosive they are as a defense, and that says a lot for them. And so, you know, the love that they get, you know, for us is getting the ball back fast as possible. You know, the interceptions, the fumbles, the all of those, you know, 3 and outs and things like that. It's been great. So it gives us as an offense to keep growing, keep building, and you know, keep progressing.
Last question: how prepared do you feel for the season opener against the Titans? You know, you got a half today. You may not get a lot of reps next week. Do you feel prepared for the season opener?
Yeah, I would say that we're going to keep going out there, myself and the offense included. We're going to keep getting better throughout these next couple of weeks of practices and things like that. You know, for this next game, however it may work out. And then obviously, I think we have about a week and a half or almost 2 weeks before the Titans game. And then, you know, we'll go into that, you know, when that time comes, but we're going to prepare for this week, prepare for the Chiefs and get ready.
Thanks for your time. Back to you, Peggy and Yurko up in the booth.
All right. Thank you very much. It's Carmen sitting in today for Yurko. And our Jason McKee interview is brought to you by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. See Michael Blaustein at Hard Rock Live, Friday, August 23rd. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 22 days before the Bears kick off their season against the Titans on September 8th. But interesting with Caleb Williams, he played 23 snaps today, 20 snaps last week. And Matt Eberflus had said earlier in training camp that he wanted around 45, 55 snaps for the quarterback. So we'll see whether or not he does play on Thursday night with the quick turnaround. Today, he was 6 of 13 for 75 yards after back-to-back 3 and outs by the offense. He does stay in the game, gets his first NFL touchdown, and still had a clean game, no interceptions and no sacks as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we do open up the phone lines, 312-332-3776. It's Carmen sitting in for Yurko on the Great Clips postgame show right here on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
If you've been seriously injured at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you may not know where to turn. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer and the managing partner of Morisi, Longo & Associates. We are the ones you need to call when you've been injured, the ones who gather the evidence and deal with the insurance companies. So here's the information to keep by your side. Our number is 312-372-9600, and our website is moricilongo.com, MORICILONGO.com. Chicagoland.com.
Chicagoland, your number one team for luxury is Bill Jacobs Auto Group. We're leading the league with top new car volume for BMW, Land Rover, Mini, and Volkswagen. Discover an experience that matches our winning lineup. Drive home in style and comfort today. At Bill Jacobs, the cars bring you in, the experience brings you back. Year-to-date new car volume for BMW, Land Rover, Mini, and Volkswagen.
Hearing vital organs would be temporarily removed to reach my cancer had me speechless. I'm Jessica, and my team at Northwestern Memorial Hospital coordinated a complex surgery to save my life.
Nationally ranked for cancer by U.S. News and World Report, Jessica's team temporarily removed her liver and kidney to reach the tumor, replace the damaged vein, and eliminate the cancer in her heart.
My team stopped at nothing, and now nothing can stop me.
Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Right now at Old National, we have a $450 checking bonus.
Sign me up. But why is that hockey player standing there?
I'm here for the checking.
Well, for a bonus that big, bring on the checking.
Sir, no need to brace yourself against the wall.
It's bank checking.
I knew that.
Earn up to a $450 bonus when you open a checking account and complete qualifying activities within 90 days of account opening. Another reason to get old. Old National, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2024. Visit oldnational.com/checking.
Ings Insurance. Insurance that's moving business forward. Ings Insurance. That's Ings with an E. ENGS Insurance.com.
Here comes the phone.
Welcome to the Great Clips post-game show on the Bears Radio Network. Brought to you by Great Clips. It's gonna be great. By Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, and by Miller Lite. And now, the Great Clips post-game show on the Bears Radio Network.
Here are your hosts, Peggy Kaczynski and John Yurkovich.
It's Carmen sitting in for Yurko today, and he's brought such a better demeanor about him. It's so different having you in here. Last week, Carmen, Yurko opened up the post game in which we saw Caleb Williams for the first time. And Caleb looked so incredible with some of his throws on the move, his bootlegs rolling out, squaring up, going downfield, midfield, a short flick pass to DeAndre Swift last week. And he opened up the post game, bursting everybody's bubble.
I was dying. I was in the car.
By giving Caleb last week a C+, B- grade.
Awesome. It was awesome. He said something to you along the lines of, what's the name of that stadium? High mark? Well, you're giving him high marks. That is your want. And I'm like, it's classic Yurko. But when everybody zigs, Yurko zags.
Right.
You know, like
he always wants to make sure everybody is. He's not being the contrarian. He's just trying to be more level-headed.
Like, here's the thing. If Caleb, let's say it was flipped. Let's say last week it was a disaster.
Right.
He would have put a positive spin on it. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
But when he's sitting in the room and Sylvie's here, and Sylvie's getting all excited and can't contain himself and is on X, and that's what drives Yurko crazy. Then he's like, this jackass. Now I'm gonna squash now I'm gonna burst the bubble. I'm gonna go on the post game and I'm gonna burst the bubble. C-.
Right.
But if Caleb flat out stunk it up, he would have come on and found something positive to say. If the phone lines lit up, oh my God, what I told you we should have kept Justin, he would have found something positive. That's just the way he is. But it was an impressive debut last week. And we'll keep it in the context of, yes, this is the exhibition season. You can do two things at once, okay? We can be excited and still understand that this is the preseason, and it's going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot harder when the regular season rolls around. But he was impressive last week. He finished impressive today after a little bit of a rough start. He's doing the things that you want. These are the things that you want to see. You want to see a poised quarterback. And he's showing you that. He's showing you that his eyes are always down the field. Look, you know he's got the arm. You know he's got the escapability, the elusiveness. You know those things. Those are tangible things that we see. You know it. Everybody knows it. It's all the other little things that go into making quarterbacks at this level special. And that's processing and keeping your eyes downfield and being calm under pressure. making sure that the operation is smooth, and he's doing all that. One false start in 7 series for Caleb and the first team in 2 games. Is it 7 series? I think 7 drives. I think it's one false start, right?
One false start and an intentional grounding.
And I don't even kid like
That's
that.
not a
Okay, but like a
pre-snap.
pre-snap,
Right,
yeah,
right.
Like they had a false start today, and those aren't good, and you got to avoid that, especially after you're down, in what were they at the 7-yard line,
Right?
The 8 or whatever they were, and they did nothing but go backwards on that 4th drive. And yeah, you want to clean those things up. They had a false start, then they had he took a sack. So okay, we can nitpick and be a little critical there. You got to clean those things up, but the operation has looked smooth, and he's doing the things that you want to see. Not just a young quarterback, but like you want good quarterback play. Like this is what it should look like. He's doing those things. He looks poised. He looks in command of this offense. He's making plays. He's got those tangible things. So yeah, I think, all in all, it's very positive.
Earlier in camp, Charles Tillman addressed the Bears, and he was talking to the Bears rookies when the rookies had first reported to camp. And one of the things that he told them was to lean into the adversity. And when things go bad, don't run away from the criticism, run to the criticism and learn from it. This is something that Matt Eberflus has also been preaching. Lean into the adversity. So, for instance, they could have called off practice, with the joint practice with the Bengals, when it was a driving rainstorm and everyone's worried about injury. Instead, they leaned into it. What can we learn from these conditions? Because you're going to have it. I mean, think about 2 years ago with Justin Fields and the opener against San Francisco. You're going to have adversity, so learn from it. Today, the coaches call an audible. They were only going to have the starters play 1 quarter, but when the Bears go 3 and outs to start their first 3 offensive possessions, they leaned into it and wanted to see if Caleb Williams could learn from the adversity and how was he going to handle the adversity. And he handled himself well.
Beautifully.
He righted the ship.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to look at how Matt Eberflus is also learning from things he did last year and being able to call an audible and keep those guys in and make them see if they can right the ship.
It looks a lot different than the exhibition season a year ago. There's no doubt about that. And I love the fact that he kept them out there for a 4th drive and then a 5th. They could have very easily after the 4th, okay, that was better, got the big play downfield. That was going to be a completion.
Right.
If not for the PI. I mean, that ball was going to be perfectly on Tyler Scott's hands.
Right.
But he completely got slowed down when he got his shoulder pad grabbed. So, okay. So you could have very easily, I guess it said, all right, that looked better. We would have hit a big bomb down the middle of the field. We had a big chunk play that we're looking for. We got 3. We're good. They went back out there a 5th time. And we got to see even more out of Caleb. You saw the highlight throw to Williams-Odunze. It should have been a touchdown to Williams-Odunze. I love Williams-Odunze. Rome's got to be more aware. Can't happen.
And you thought that he was aware because he was literally standing sideways. He was parallel to the back end line. And so you thought, oh my gosh, he is totally aware of where he's at, but he wasn't.
And you saw the ref's hat go. You saw the official's hat go off right away, and you knew he stepped out of bounds and then came back in. So you're like, wait, he has to be better than that. And he will be. He will be. But like you saw the great throw to Rome. Should have been a touchdown pass there on another play where he's using his elusiveness. He's extending a play, not just running, but extending a play behind the line of scrimmage, eyes downfield, with a dart to the back corner of the end zone. That should have been a touchdown had Rome not had a brain fart. He'll clean that up. That's fine. And then it culminates with his rushing touchdown. So I love the fact that they got to go out there for a 5th series. And not only did you just get 3, but finally the first team offense got you 7. Beautiful thing. So I think, again, the takeaways here after a clunky start, I think the takeaways are mostly positive.
Absolutely. This is one of the things Ryan Poles was talking about during the broadcast was how difficult what is keeping him up at night now is their depth is so good right now that he's now thinking about the 53-man roster and that he's losing sleep over the 53-man roster.
Good thing.
Because he is going to have to make some tough decisions. And he may have to part ways with guys that he loves and guys that he has drafted. This offense, I can't even believe we're saying it, is a strength now on the Bears. They have a crowded running back room. They have a crowded wide receiver room. These are good. They have a crowded tight end room. These are good problems to have, and the offensive line is showing some depth.
Yeah, no, I thought for the most part, the line held up pretty well again too while they were out there together. You're right about some tough decisions are going to have to be made, and when your first ever offensive draft pick is on the bubble, that's got to be a tough thing for Ryan Poles. But I just don't see how Velus Jones makes this team. I could be very wrong, but I don't know.
I'm telling you, they love him, and it makes you wonder when Hard Knocks ends an episode by saying two guys fighting for a position, the same position, are Velus Jones and Ian Wheeler. And you realize, and then they said, he seems to have solidified his spot on the team. I don't see that yet.
I don't know how.
I don't see that yet. I mean, you cannot constantly sweep him out off the edge, out of the backfield, because everyone knows that's what Velus Jones is going to do. If he's going to be a running back, he's going to have to be able to run between the tackles. And right now, you're not seeing it. He still has to do pass protection. You're not seeing it.
I mean, yeah, but you're going to keep. First of all, how many running backs are you going to keep? DeAndre Swift is on this team. Roshan Johnson is on this team. I think Khalil Herbert's on this team.
You would think Travis Homer is a special team
probably
guy.
on the team.
You would think.
Kari Blossingame is on the team. They're going to.
You would think.
We're 6 running backs.
Ian Wheeler
for
is the guy
packages?
for the practice squad.
Yeah, I would think so.
Ian
Boy,
Wheeler,
can that kid run?
Oh boy. And what a great storyline. That is one of those that you want to see. Someone like that out of Howard University puts off his medical school, which he was accepted into med school, wants to be a psychiatrist, has put it off to fulfill his dream of playing in the NFL. And he was the last running back on the depth chart.
If I ran a 4.35 40, I'd put it off for a little while too. I'll tell you that much. I mean, his acceleration, his burst is something. You saw it in one play today. You're like, I did a cap there. Sorry. I did a wow. I mean, when he hits it, he can really go. That's impressive. I destined for practice squad. Yeah, but I don't know. Velus had another tough play on that special teams play down at the. That ball should have been down at the 2. I mean, I don't know.
I think
I think it's going to be tough for Velus to make this team.
Their want for him to be good is more than what he has shown to be good. They keep saying how his skills and his speed, and it's so good. But then he takes 2 steps forward and then 1 step backwards.
Yeah, I know.
When we come back, let's also talk about the offensive line, because there does seem to be competition at the right guard position. And head coach Matt Eberflus opened that up in training camp by talking about the fact that you can indeed lose your job to injury. And lo and behold, someone came back this week at right guard.
Got the message.
When we come back, we'll talk about Nate Davis and how the offensive line is looking. We will also open up your phone lines because we have such an exciting thing to tell you, our callers, for during the regular season. You are going to have an opportunity to win a car. That's right.
Nice.
You have an opportunity to win a car just by calling into the postgame show. We will tell you that, and we'll talk about the offensive line and so much more on this, the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Jan from Toyota here. At Toyota's National Sales Event, there's still time to squeeze more fun out of summer with a new Camry, RAV4, Corolla, and more. So go on, squeeze your extended family into a Highlander for a family reunion.
Everybody in. Tammy, Teddy, Toady, Tommy, Toby, Terry. Wait, where's Rex?
Or stop for some fresh squeezed lemonade in a Prius.
Ooh, how much?
$15.
Okay, now that's a squeeze.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends September 3rd. Toyota, let's go places.
So you call your virtual insurance company to ask a simple question about your policy, but now you're on hold listening to this music while you wait and wait. Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and pick up the phone when you call, because you shouldn't be on hold so long that you memorize the music. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Reardon Insurance Group in Chicago.
if auto owners make sense for you.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for its facilities. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at comed.com/poweringbiz.
I never knew owning a gourmet Italian pasta business could be this profitable.
Thanks to our Old National commercial banker.
That warehouse expansion loan?
Oh, and the help with our equipment leasing.
But still, gotta say, it seems like he loves the Italian pasta business more than we do.
La nuova attrezzatura ha reso il processo molto più efficiente. I mean, the new equipment, it makes it so much more efficient.
Really dedicated commercial bankers.
Sorry, got a little carried away there.
Another reason to choose Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, and I personally guarantee to beat any quote on a new furnace and AC by up to $1,000. Even the so-called buy a furnace, get an air conditioner free. That's right. Four Seasons will beat any so-called buy one, get one free offer by $1,000. And Four Seasons guarantees same-day installation, and we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So call today.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
8 months of thrilling playoffs, of impossible comebacks, of nerve-shredding putts on the 18th hole. Come down to one final showdown in Chi-Town. Catch Live Golf Chicago at Bolingbrook Golf Club from the 13th to the 15th of September and see John Rahm, Cam Smith, and Bryson DeChambeau in a 3-day battle to crown the new individual champion. 54 players, 3 days, 1 prize. Get your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
With 3 locations to serve Chicagoland, Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Bolingbrook. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer apply arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
Chicagoland's favorite locally made chocolate chip cookie and one of America's top-selling soft-baked cookies makes Matt's #1 on everybody's shopping list.
Snap to Caleb Williams. D'Antoni moving in the pocket. Pressure escapes. Spins to his left. Alma moving in outside the numbers. Now he's going to tuck it and go with Turlin Jenkins in front. He's in for the touchdown. A scramble of 7 for number 18. Caleb Williams finishes off the drive. And the Bears extend their lead to 9-zip over the Bengals with a minute 33 to go in the half.
Peggy and Yurko post game on ESPN Chicago.
It's Peggy and Carmen today sitting in for Yurko. And Caleb Williams gets his first NFL touchdown. A nice run, reading the defense. He had his receivers were all covered. He took the time. He escaped. He followed his blockers, Tevin Jenkins. It was really nicely done. Caleb Williams went 6 of 13 today, 75 yards, finishes with a passer rating of 64.6, but a clean game. He was sacked 1 time, no interceptions though, no passing touchdowns.
I think a sack that he'll learn from, like that ball should be thrown away,
right?
Especially where you are on the field. Throw it through the goalpost.
Yep,
that's an easy one. Like, okay, you learn from that. Other than that, it was pretty clean. You're right. Even on the play you just described, when he originally spun out of the pressure, he still took a second to scan and see, is somebody going to come open? No.
Right.
I've got Tevin Jenkins in front of me. I'm going to follow him into the end zone now.
There is something very funny happening right now across the National Football League as the Caleb Williams highlights of his pass plays, like the one to Williams-Odunze, as they are seen on social media. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are playing the Lions right now, and Patrick Mahomes just had a behind-the-back pass that was completed, and all the reactions on X are saying, "Oh, look at bro thinking he's Caleb Williams."
That's hilarious. I thought you were going to say the comments are saying, "Oh, look at bro thinks he's Uncle Rico," because that's the funny thing the last year or so. Like somebody did the side by side from Napoleon Dynamite where like Uncle Rico's making his tape, and they're like, do we not realize that Mahomes is just basically stealing Uncle Rico's moves? And they are so eerily similar. So I thought that's what you were going to say when you said, no, they're saying, does bro think he's Caleb Williams? Like, get out of here.
It is hysterical.
Pump the brakes a little.
The hype right now between Caleb Williams in his 2 appearances so far this preseason, with the highlight reel that we're getting already from what, 7 drives?
7 drives, I think
7
it is, right?
drives out of him.
7 drives.
And oh, by the way, this would be a good time to tell you that the Bears will be playing the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday night at Arrowhead. It's Geha Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Thursday night, 7:20 is kickoff against Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Do we think they're playing?
And the Chiefs.
Is she going to be there for that one?
No.
She was in the building last year.
Yeah, but she's still on tour, I believe.
I think she is. Actually.
I think she's still on tour.
I'll always get to say I was in the building when Taylor was in the building.
That's amazing.
Yes, we were at that game.
You can listen to that game right here on the Chicago Bears radio network and the flagship station here in Chicago, ESPN 1000. As we don't know whether or not the starters will play. Typically in the final preseason game, they do not play. But this is considered the 4th preseason game for the Bears, the 3rd in the NFL, because they don't count the Hall of Fame game as a preseason week 1. So whether or not there are any snaps to be had for a Caleb Williams and a Patrick Mahomes sighting on the field, he finished with 23 snaps today. He had 20 last week, so that's 43. Originally, Matt Eberflus said he would like to see
40 to 55,
40 to 55.
Right? Yeah.
So he's at 43. Is there anything else they need to see? In the years past, coaches wanted to see their rookie quarterbacks make halftime adjustments, and then they come out for the beginning of the 3rd quarter. I don't see that happening here.
No way. I'd be stunned.
I don't see. There's no reason. What they saw today was Caleb Williams' ability to make adjustments in the game.
Yeah.
After adversity of the offense getting stalled in their first 3 drives, going 3 and out in each of those, he was able to make the adjustments. And I think that's the same thing as going into halftime and making halftime adjustments and coming out in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Eberflus told Joniak and Thayer no plan yet for Thursday. He, of course, was going to probably keep it pretty simple like that and not tip their hand one way or another. But I don't know. We'll see. I doubt the starters play much on Thursday night, but we'll see.
We talked about the offensive line. We teased the offensive line as well. And today we saw Nate Davis back at starting right guard. And what is expected to be the starting offensive line: Braxton Jones at left tackle, Tevin Jenkins at left guard, Coleman Shelton starting at center again as Ryan Bates is injured, hasn't practiced in over a week. Right guard Nate Davis is your starting right guard, and your right tackle Darnell Wright in his 2nd year. That expects to be the starting offensive line. Did they get as much of a push as I think the Bears were hoping in the run game? Not so much. They definitely stalled in those first 3 drives, but then you saw Khalil Herbert was able to get some nice runs going.
They threw it a lot though too, and that's one thing that stood out to me about Shane Waldron. And the aggressiveness here and just a lot of early down throws, which I love. I'm always a proponent for. I mean, the more you stay out of 3rd down, the better. The more you're in third and short, the better. The teams that tend to bypass, not tend to, the teams that do frequently bypass third down because their offense are so efficient are going to be the best offenses. So I love the aggressiveness of all the early down throws. We saw it a lot.
Yeah.
Even after the miss to Gerald Everett. One throw that I think Caleb would love to have back was that miss to Gerald Everett, where he kind of, again, he had to elude some pressure, kept his eyes downfield, but then just sort of rushed a throw to Gerald Everett, who was sitting down in a little zone and was open, and he just missed it.
Yeah.
That was a first down throw. Came right back.
His accuracy was off in those early possessions.
They came right back on the next play and threw it again, which I liked. That was the Rome throw after that. So I like the aggressiveness, and they really came out throwing the ball a lot. The first two plays from scrimmage on their opening drive were two pass attempts. Neither went anywhere, unfortunately.
Keenan Allen and Everett
pocket
again.
Twice, once to the left, once to the right. So the early down throws, the aggressiveness there, I really liked out of Shane Waldron.
312-332-3776 is the number that you get to call to get in here on the postgame show. And you want to call the postgame show this season because, folks, in season, once they kick off against the Titans, that week 1, September 8th postgame will be the beginning of a season-long campaign in which you will get an opportunity to win a Chevy Equinox EV, a 2-year lease courtesy of the Advantage Dealer Group. It is a value of a sticker price of $43,295 for that car. And by calling in, as you know, every post game, we do our Bears Advantage of the game. And the first caller that correctly guesses Yurko and my decision on who the Bears Advantage of the game is will get their name into the hopper to win a Chevy Equinox 2-year lease with a sticker price value of $43,295. So that phone number, write it down right now. It's 312-332-3776. That starts in the regular season, but we will start with your phone calls when we come back on the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
With 3 locations to serve Chicagoland, Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Bridgeview. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer upon arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
The village of Bolingbrook is breaking out and elevating its game. Bolingbrook remains the most desirable Southwest suburban location to start or expand your business. Why? Over 50 corporate headquarters call Bolingbrook home, and it's a prime commuter destination right off I-55 and I-355. So come be Bolingbrook. Elevate your future and the future of your business. Visit bebolingbrook.com. It's a great time to be Bolingbrook.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste. The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here? Miller Lite tastes great. Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling. That's not what my script says. Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great.
Time to shine, legal guy. Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer, 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Our patient Mike had blood clots deep in his lungs that were putting his heart under major duress. Using a minimally invasive procedure pioneered by our team, we were able to clear them.
Top ranked in Illinois for heart and vascular by U.S. News and World Report, Northwestern Memorial Hospital used tiny balloons to widen the vessels in his lungs, the first in Illinois to master this breakthrough method.
As Mike's nurse, I'm proud to have helped him breathe freely again.
Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Hey Bears fans, Steinhoffel's is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. Steinhoffel's newest furniture and mattress superstore is now open in Schaumburg on Gulf Road, with stores in Vernon Hills, Crystal Lake, Downers Grove, Harwood Heights, Schaumburg, and coming soon to Orland Park. Steinhoffel's is Chicagoland's furniture and mattress leader with the largest selection to fit every style and budget, and is 100% employee owned. Shop in-store and online at steinhoffels.com.
At Bill Jacobs Auto Group, we provide more than just luxury cars. We offer peace of mind. With the Bill Jacobs Total Mile Protection Warranty, you get a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on every new car. Whether you're eyeing a BMW, Volkswagen, Mini, Jaguar, or Land Rover, you can drive with confidence knowing you're covered. At Bill Jacobs, the cars bring you in, and the experience brings you back. Visit BillJacobs.com to start your car buying journey today.
The Chicago Bears podcast. If you aren't listening, you're not getting the whole story. See it or hear it now on the ESPN Chicago app or wherever you like to pod.
Here's Herbert fishing for room. Bounces left. Reversing field 30, 35 to the 40. First down to the 45 and out of bounds right in front of the Bengal bench. Good decision by number 24. Scoots to the outside left and picks up 21 yards and a Bears first down. They're on the move now to the 48-yard line.
Every Bears game on FM 100.3 HD2 ESPN Chicago.
Well, for what it's worth, the Bears are 3-0 in this preseason. The Bengals are 0-2, dropping their first 2 preseason games. And the Bears will close out the preseason on Thursday night, a 7:20 kickoff against Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift's boyfriend and the Chiefs. That game is at Geha Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. 22 days, Carmen. 22 days before they kick off against the Titans at Soldier Field to start the 2024 season. And Matt Eberflus has to be happy.
Yeah, I think so.
They are definitely showing improvement each time they take the field.
I mean, they took it seriously today. The Bengals don't have to take it as seriously. I get it. They don't have to play Joe Burrow if they don't want to. Joe Burrow got hurt in training camp last year, hurt his calf, was never really quite the same. Then he had the weird wrist injury thing. We'll never forget how that ended. Never on the injury report. Then all of a sudden not playing in a game, and then he's having surgery not too long after, and his season was truncated. They can't afford to have Joe Burrow hurt. They've already got a couple of old linemen that have that project to be starters that are down. And so I get it if a team that's one of the favorites, if they all stay healthy, to win the AFC wants to take a very cautious approach. So it doesn't matter how any of the other teams want to do it. I think this is the right approach for the Bears with a very young team and a young rookie quarterback. I'm glad they played. I'm glad that first team offense played as many snaps as it did today.
After the Thursday joint practice with the Bengals, and oh, by the way, the Bengals now will go have a joint practice with the Colts this week. So teams are loving the joint practices. Yes. And very interesting hearing quarterback Joe Burrow talk about Caleb Williams. He actually hosted Caleb Williams on a recruiting visit to LSU. They went out to dinner, and they have stayed in touch over the years. He knows what it's like as a Heisman Trophy winner, as a first overall draft pick just 4 years ago. Yeah. He understands the pressure that's on Caleb Williams. He's not in as big of a market, a media market, as Caleb Williams is here in Chicago. But what I found really interesting was Joe Burrow saying how important all these reps are for Caleb Williams. He said the reps are so valuable. You learn so much the first year, especially when you rep with the ones and against the ones. The other advice he said that he has shared with Caleb Williams is the grind.
Yes.
He said the grind hits you around week 11 because in college, they had 2 bye weeks. And you don't necessarily get that bye week until around that time. And so he said it's really a grind. And for Caleb Williams, that grind comes when the division games start.
Exactly. Well, think about how long you have once Thanksgiving rolls around, how many games you still have to play. When Thanksgiving rolls around in college, you're down to your last 2 games.
Exactly.
3 games. That's it.
Yep.
Think about it. Think about all the games they're going to play. And so it's a very good point he was making, that you realize as a rookie when you get into November and December just how taxing it is, especially for a quarterback. There's so much on your plate. Just everything you have to execute physically, mentally, how sharp you have to be. It's hard.
And that regular season, I'm looking at the Bears schedule right now. So week 11 for them would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 would be right after the Packers game.
Yeah.
And which starts their division part of the schedule. And on the road, so back-to-back on the road division games, Packers, Vikings, and then home games, Packers, Vikings, and then they go to the Lions. So
Thanksgiving.
That's exactly when the grind hits for a rookie. So great advice, great things to read about Joe Burrow earlier during the joint practice with the Bears.
Yeah, for sure.
312-332-3776. Let's open up the phone lines and hear from you. Out to Algonquin we go. Hello, Bernie. Thank you for holding on to the Great Clips postgame show here on the Bears Radio Network.
Yeah. A comment. I got to say hats off to Matt Eberflus. I was his biggest critic last year. I wanted him fired.
Up. And we lost Bernie there.
Damn, Bernie.
Sorry about that, Bernie. We lost you. But Matt Eberflus has done quite a 180.
Yeah.
He's
I
not
think that
afraid.
was Bernie's point. Like, he's kind of won him over a little bit and how much he's changed his tune this preseason.
Absolutely. And what's interesting, I had some people asking me this week about Matt Eberflus, and they said, I'm not convinced. We get all the talk about his new look, but it's the in-game preparation that they want to see change. And it's the preparation for the season that people weren't convinced on. But I told them, I said, I'm going to tell you something. The players on this Bears team love Matt Eberflus. He did not lose that locker room last year. He may have lost a lot of fans last year during that god-awful losing streak, but he did not lose the locker room. And when I asked Khalil Herbert on my podcast what it is about Matt Eberflus, he said, we love his energy. Guys want to play for him.
Which is weird. He doesn't seem like he's got that much energy. Maybe he just doesn't show it to the media.
Right.
But he's obviously doing something right, because at 0-4 with how badly they were listing, that team could have very easily mailed it in, and they didn't. So he obviously did something right after that awful start last September.
Yeah. So and he had a nice little scene with in Hard Knocks and getting Nick Saban talking about some of the best advice. But there were people who even didn't like that scene, thought that he looked too much like he didn't know enough, that he had to listen to Nick Saban. And I said, that's crazy. Anytime you get a coach like that that's giving you advice, you have to kind of go with it. Yeah. So let's take a break here. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You are listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
This is the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago, WMVP, WTBC HD2, Chicago.
Tito's handmade vodka on game day? Pour me in, coach. From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. No matter who's on your roster, lineup, or lucky jersey, make Tito's your first-round bottle pick. Whose house? Tito's house. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Crash, bang, suddenly you are on the DL. If that happens as a result of somebody else's negligence, we can help. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer. Our experienced attorneys and support staff will talk with you during a free consultation, tell you your options, and ensure that you take the right steps throughout the entire process. Visit us at MorisiLongo.com. That's MoriciLongo.com. Your future is our priority.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of 4 Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. If you have a clogged toilet or sink, Problem with your air conditioner? Have an issue with your electrical system? Or you need a generator for your home? You can count on Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, Chicagoland's trusted local expert for over 50 years, with over 20,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4Seasons.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Reardon Insurance Group in Chicago if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for its facilities. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at comed.com/poweringbiz.
Right now at Old National, we have a $450 checking bonus.
Sign me up. But why is that hockey player standing there?
I'm here for the checking.
Well, for a bonus that big, bring on the checking.
Sir, no need to brace yourself against the wall.
It's bank checking.
I knew that.
Earn up to a $450 bonus when you open a checking account and complete qualifying activities within 90 days of account opening. Another reason to get old. Old National, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2024. Visit oldnational.com/checking.
With 3 locations to serve Chicagoland, Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Hodgkins. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer upon arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
8 months of thrilling playoffs, of impossible comebacks, of nerve-shredding putts on the 18th hole. Come down to one final showdown in Chi-Town. Catch Live Golf Chicago at Bolingbrook Golf Club from the 13th to the 15th of September and see John Rahm, Cam Smith, and Bryson DeChambeau in a 3-day battle to crown the new individual champion. 54 players, 3 days, 1 prize. Get your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
Uno's Pizza, handcrafted the Chicago way with the finest ingredients and buttery pie-like crust. Your taste buds will thank you. Find Uno's at your favorite local Chicagoland grocery store. It's called Uno's for a reason. 2nd and 10 for Bagent. 2-by-2 formation. Floats it down the right side. One-handed catch to the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown Bears. Dante Pettis. Again, perfect touch. Leads him down the right corner of the end zone, down the sideline for 6.
Wow. Bears Monday starts with Cap and J Hood at 7, ESPN Chicago.
Williams-Odunze had a nice game today, an end around for a 16-yard gain, and then the 45-yard pass reception from Caleb Williams, which was just a beautiful ball thrown by Caleb Williams. Once again, escaping rushes, rolling out. They had bootlegs. Things that he didn't. Cole Kmet talked about this week. Things that Caleb did not do in college. So the fact that they have him bootleg and moving the pocket and the rollouts and his ability to throw on the run has so far, what we've seen these last 2 games, has been pretty impressive.
Oh, he seemingly is comfortable throwing on the run to his right or left, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The throw to Rome was incredible. I mean, it just was. That's a play rolling to his left. I mean, to still kind of flip your hips open and be able to get somewhat square and put the ball as accurately deep down the field as it needed to be was amazing. Rome did have a good game other than losing, spatial awareness on the end line. Seriously, I mean, in a real game, it'd be like, come on now.
Right.
So that'll get cleaned up. It's fine. That's what the preseason is for. They're rookies. He's a rookie. So all good. He did have a good game. Real quick, I know go back out to the phones, but you heard the highlight, one of the Bagent highlights. Tyson Bagent, I'm telling you.
I was just going to say that.
Break glass in case of emergency. The Bears are going to probably feel about as good as any team in the league if they have to go to their backup. And for to say that about a player who's only in his second year, who's an undrafted player
College,
who played just 4
Shepherd
games last year.
University,
Yeah, I mean, but that kid flat out knows where the football should go. He knows how to attack leverage. You saw it on the second touchdown pass to Pettis. He knows what he's looking at.
Yeah.
He sees the defense. He knows how to attack leverage. He's understanding what they're doing in these concepts and in these route combinations. He totally knows where to go with the football. And if you need to play him in a 3 or 4 game stretch, I think he could do a lot worse than Tyson Bagent. Then that's a good feeling.
You led me perfectly into, I was going to say Tyson Bagent today. We'd be remiss if we did not give him kudos because those 2 touchdown passes to Dante Pettis were beautifully thrown. He was 7 of 8 for 87 yards, a 151.6 passer rating for your backup quarterback. I'm thinking Tyson Bagent might get a little airtime this week on Hard Knocks.
Maybe he will. Maybe I thought it would be last week. Maybe this will be the week.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Bob wants to talk about Tyson Bagent as well. Hello, Bob.
You guys just stole my thunder. Okay. I tuned in a little late and I didn't watch the entire game. So I was going to ask you, why aren't you talking about Tyson Bagent? But I heard on the radio what he did. So you covered that. Okay. Wasn't too impressed with Caleb Williams. What game do you predict that Tyson will come in for performance reasons to replace Caleb? Thank you.
Oh, wow.
He will not.
No.
Come on, Bob.
No, he's only coming in. He is only coming in if there's injury or it is such a blowout that they're going to just give him some game time. Don't know how you couldn't be impressed with the fact that the offense stalled on their first 3 possessions and he was able to make the necessary adjustments, did not let it get to him emotionally, did not let it get to him where you could see it in his body language. He went back, looked at the film, the pictures, the video, talked to the coaches, made the correct adjustments, and led the Bears on 2 scoring drives. He led the Bears on 2 scoring drives, Bob.
Come on. I mean, really, it doesn't even just move the drill.
Oh, my goodness. Let's go out to Antioch. Carl is up next. Hi, Carl.
Hey, hello there, my fancy NCAA friend. Thank you for your county's gift certificates when I guessed exactly where Wagner University was with you and Dion.
Oh, that's right.
Nice job saying Dion's name properly.
Well done, Carl.
Good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got those gift certificates in the mail. And Amatricana, how you doing, amico?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
So I love you guys so much. So I wanted to point out there was something that went in my brain real quick. There's a couple things. The first thing is when he threw that pass to Rome, there in my head, my dad and my uncle were season ticket holders when they were playing at Wrigley. All right. I was 8 years old handicapping games with the Chicago Sun-Times when I was 8 years old going tailgating. All right. My head automatically muscle memory went to when he threw that ball to Rome, he escaped the pocket. He scrambles left. He rolls out. And I said Justin Fields would have just ran with that ball and got a gain of 8, 10, maybe 12 yards instead of throwing it. And I wanted your opinion on that. But the second thing is, this is the main thing. I feel like based on that they're both second-round picks, Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon are battling each other for an extension. One of them will be on this team in the next 3 to 4 years. The other one is going to be hopefully traded for something in return. I don't think with us presuming that we're going to have to pay Odunze, we're going to have to pay Caleb. The way the salary cap is, if everything goes to plan, one of them has to go, one of them has to stay. Who do you think is going to be on this team in 2029, 2030, and who's going to be gone? Because I don't think we can afford to keep them both. And they both, considering their second-round picks, haven't performed up to the level that I expected them to perform to. I'm going with Kyler. I want to know, what say you, my Jefferson Park friend?
Wow. Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, they're not competing against each other for, and they don't play the same position. Okay.
I think he means monetarily.
Monetarily for that. But listen, they have 2 years, right?
2 more years.
They have 2 years. Yeah. So Kyler Gordon returned from injury and he looked fantastic today.
Another guy that deserves some love.
I am telling you, but I understand what his concern is, and Carl's concern. Here's the problem with both Jaquan Brisker, who did not play because of injury. Jaquan Brisker hasn't been able to stay healthy, and Elijah Hicks has been playing in his place and has been looking really good. Really good. Josh Blackwell
that kid played
has been playing in Kyler Gordon's place. Gordon moved over to corner at one point, and Blackwell was your nickel back and the nickel blitz again. So, I mean, they're right now that these are good problems to have. I think you don't worry about the contracts of some defensive backs at this point.
I agree. With a couple of years to go, I mean, they're always looking into the future and maintaining and managing their salary cap, and they've got ways to do it that are beyond our realm, trust me. So I don't know that I would say, well, they're not going to be able to keep both. There could be a way that they keep both. My guess is their want is they will keep both. He drafted these players. They both perform well. Staying healthy, I think, is something worth talking about, Peg. Like, you're right. Both of them. Kyler Gordon missed time last year.
Yeah.
And the defense wasn't as good at the start of the season without him. But they can both play when they're on the field. I think they're productive, and Kyler Gordon was great today. He was all over the field today.
There have been some really impressive performances by some of the guys in the secondary. Linebacker Amen Agbong Bamiga.
Good job.
All over the place.
AO. Yeah, he was 45.
He's all over the place. Last week we saw Micah Baskerville with the interception. Noah Sewell is a draft pick who cannot stay healthy.
No, he can't.
He's supposed to be close to coming back. They love the instincts of this guy as a backup linebacker, but we have not seen him on the field. So that, I think, like, take a look at the linebacker depth chart right now for the defensive backs. Elijah Hicks is playing well. Jalen Jones is playing well. You saw Adrian Colbert in there. Greg Stroman in there as well. Terrell Smith had a nice pick today. So I think you're Josh Blackwell again. Reddy Stewart, I think, was leading tackler, but he's doing a lot of mop-up duty in the fourth quarter. Kyler Gordon had 4 tackles today, all solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a quarterback hit, a sack. I mean,
he was everywhere today.
He was
his
everywhere
brief time
today.
out there, it was like, okay, Kyler Gordon's here to play. He looked fired up and ready to go against backups or not. Didn't matter. He went out there and he balled. It was great.
And something that you need to keep in mind about Jaquan Brisker, even though he has been out injured, when Kevin Byard this week was asked about how much time are you losing in developing a communication with Jaquan Brisker in the defensive secondary, in that defensive backfield, and he said, oh, no. He's still in all the meetings. Jaquan is the one that's still teaching me things. So Jaquan, when he's out there, is a force. And if they continue with the blitzing, we've seen Jaquan Brisker. We've seen Flus likes to use him blitzing also with the safety blitz. So listen, if they play this aggressive, that is probably the deepest position of players now that are actually playing well.
Yeah, I think it's their deepest group. I do. Daniel Hardy again today too, by the way, making a case to pushing to make this team. I feel like with the way he's performed.
Absolutely. 312-332-3776. Let's take another break. When we come back, we still have to find the great from this game, and we'll also tell you who the Bears' advantage was as well. This is the post-game show brought to you by Great Clips right here on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
With 3 locations to serve Chicagoland, Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Bolingbrook. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer upon arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
So you call your virtual insurance company to ask a simple question about your policy, but now you're on hold listening to this music while you wait and wait. Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and pick up the phone when you call, because you shouldn't be on hold so long that you memorize the music. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Reardon Insurance Group in Chicago if auto owners make sense for you.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine said.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
When I got sick, I spent years looking for answers. But it only took one conversation with my team at Northwestern Medicine to correct my misdiagnosis. I'm Daniel. When Parkinson's changed my life, so did my Spanish-speaking care team.
The Northwestern Medicine Parkinson's Disease and Movement Disorders Center offers specialized, culturally sensitive care. Their Spanish-speaking team was the first to provide Daniel with innovative treatment in the language he preferred. Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for its facilities. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at comed.com/poweringbiz.
The village of Bolingbrook is breaking out and elevating its game. Bolingbrook is rated as the third most diverse suburb and the only community in Illinois to make Fortune's top 50 places to live in 2023. Why? Over 50 corporate headquarters call Bolingbrook home, and it's a prime commuter destination right off I-55 and I-355. Elevate your future and the future of your business. Visit bebolingbrook.com. It's a great time to be Bolingbrook.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Toyota National Sales Event is on. Visit your local Toyota dealer and snap up the Toyota that's right for you. Hurry in now before it all ends. Toyota, let's go places.
Here's the snap of the play fake. Now an end around to Odunze. Gets the corner to the 30, 35, 40, and a first down and more. So Williams-Odunze gliding his way to a first down for the Bears. Their first down of the day at 11:49 to go in the second quarter. That's a double-digit pickup by Odunze. Gonna throw it down the field. A shot down the field. Pass caught inside the 10. A rookie-to-rookie connection. Williams to Odunze. First and goal for the Bears inside the 10. The magic on the move. On full display right there. Giving his guy a shot. The deep ball accuracy and a 45-yard strike to Williams-Odunze. Snap to Caleb Williams. Dansoning moving in the pocket. Pressure escapes. Spins to his left. On the move again outside the numbers. Now he's going to tuck it and go with Turlin. Jenkins in front. He's in for the touchdown. A scramble of 7 for number 18. Caleb Williams finishes off the drive. And the Bears extend their lead to 9-zip over the Bengals with 1:33 to go in the half.
Peggy and Yurko postgame, ESPN Chicago.
Easy to find the great in this game today. Caleb Williams and Williams-Odunze. Caleb gets his first NFL touchdown, as you just heard Jeff Joniak describe it on that scramble run. Williams-Odunze should have had his first touchdown.
Yes.
He should have had it, but he had an incredible 45-yard gain on a beautiful pass play from Caleb Williams. A combination that is just getting started. and could be years to come. It's easy to find the great with those two, and sports success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. Download their app today, Great Clips. It's gonna be great. I'm going to love saying this because I have a feeling we're going to be saying it's going to be great about Caleb Williams and Williams-Odunze for a long time to come.
I hope so. I think we will as well. But it'd be nice to have, think of any great quarterback, wide receiver combination that we've always been envious of. It'd be nice as Bears fans to have our own pack. This could be it.
Well, there's going to be Caleb Williams to Keenan Allen, Caleb Williams to DJ Moore, Caleb Williams to Williams-Odunze, Caleb Williams to Cole Kmet, Caleb Williams to Tyler Everett, Gerald Everett, Tyler Scott, maybe, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen,
the offense is starting to really, the Bears have an offense.
It does appear that way. Right, with all the skill they have, if Caleb is as good as we all hope and as good as they believe, and what's been on display in the preseason so far is very encouraging, then it would appear they finally have an offense. And I talked about earlier about Shane Waldron's just the general play calling that we've seen so far, and some of the early down aggressiveness, which I love. His offenses, if you look at the time he spent in Seattle, the 3 years he spent in Seattle, Seahawks were a top 10 team in EPA per play. They were 7th in the NFL in that time span in offensive yards per play. And the early down efficiency, early downs in the first 3 quarters. Here are your top 5 teams the last 3 years in EPA per play. 49ers, Chiefs, Packers, Bills, Seahawks. So by a lot of measures, top 10 offense. And this is a play caller that has experience off a very impressive coaching tree that I think is going to make this offense even more dynamic if it all comes together the way we want it to. But from a talent standpoint and now a coordinator standpoint, I think they have a combination that can make them very, very good. And we are just not used to saying that here.
The words that we heard most often to describe Shane Waldron's offense would be explosive. That's what we've heard the most. And today there was Dante Pettis, who had a 25-yard pass reception. Williams-Odunze, 45 yards. Freddie Swain had a 25-yard. Brendan Bates, the tight end, had a 23-yarder. Tyler Scott had a 17-yarder.
And it would have been the other one if not for the PI, Peg.
Exactly. And Simba Webster had an 11-yard.
Big plays down the field, chunk plays, big explosive plays down the field. That's what makes offense dangerous.
And that's what we're starting to see as well. And let's not forget on some of the running plays too. Khalil Herbert had a 21-yard gain, and Williams-Odunze on the end around had a 16-yard gain. So it's nice to see that the offense has this ability to be explosive. Let's go out to the phone lines, 312-332-3776. Don't forget, you want to keep that phone number for the entire regular season post-game shows for an opportunity to win a car if you correctly guess who our Bears advantage is in the post-game show. When we are talking about our Bears advantage, you will be given the opportunity to guess it correctly. And if you do, then you will go into the hopper for a chance to win a 2-year lease on a car. So 312-332-3776 is the phone number. Let's go out to Lakeview where Kevin is standing by. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, the big Colt, Caleb, looked great. It's like first rolled out there, eased them out, and then that Odunze pass was awesome. I mean, that's a bright in here this season.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah. And it's, Kevin, we don't know if any of the starters, most likely they don't play in the last preseason game, which is coming up Thursday night right here on the Chicago Bears Radio Network and on ESPN 1000 here, the flagship station. 7:20 is their game next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. The highlights they're showing right now of Patrick Mahomes against the Lions today, he had a behind-the-back basketball pass. Everyone everyone wants to see Mahomes and Caleb Williams because the excitement of seeing some of these plays is unbelievable, but we're probably not going to see it next week.
Probably not. Apparently, they've worked on that in practice, too. There's some practice footage that's out there now. They've actually run that play. So
Kansas City?
Yeah. So that wasn't just like one of those, I'm going to improvise.
Ad-lib, yeah.
It was. They were in a 3rd and short, it looked like. And there's some video now that the practice footage that I don't know if the Chiefs are happy that it's out there or not. Or maybe once they said, listen, when we run the play, you can put it. I don't know. But there's some practice footage. It looks like they ran it with Pacheco in a practice. I don't know when it's from. I don't know. I was scrolling and I had seen it because Peggy's right. It's all over X and Instagram right now. But it looks like something that it wasn't just like extemporaneous. Like, oh, here's Kelsey now. And
Yeah.
That's a play that apparently has been in there. They've worked on a little bit. Maybe they've done it before. I don't know. I can't recall seeing that specific one. But, they do all kinds of great things.
Many people pre-draft this year, when talking about Caleb Williams, compared him most to Patrick Mahomes. Well, because of his ability to throw on the run and his creativity, his improvisational skills, and he's got a strong arm.
I think like the throwing Odunze is a perfect example, right? Those are, if you're going to make the comparison, part of me wishes it would stop in the middle. I mean, but all right, we have to do it. Fine. If you're going to make the comparisons, it's those types of throws. What Mahomes is so good at, and what great quarterbacks are so good at, is extending plays without scrambling, without rushing, without subjecting yourself to injury. When you have to, you have to. Don't get me wrong. I mean, one of the biggest plays of the offseason was a Mahomes scramble with using his legs for a first down. I mean, I get it. When you have to, you have to. But what makes the great ones really great is the ability to elude pressure and extend a play while still making one deep down the field. And Mahomes is a master. He has been for a long time. Josh Allen, very good at it. Steve Young was great at it. You want to go to somebody who was, if you're older and somebody that did it back in the day. Like, those players are special. Those are special qualities. And I think that's why people want to make the comparison, because if you go to Odunze, that's the one that makes people go, oh, look, that's something that Patrick Mahomes would do.
And last week's little pass to DeAndre Swift is another one.
Yes.
He let the pocket collapse. He didn't panic.
Yes. And
he saw the orange gloves of DeAndre Swift, and he was able to flip it to him. Now, we kept calling it a no-look pass, but he said it wasn't a no-look. I saw his orange gloves, and I let the pocket collapse until the very last second, and then I was able to get it. So, yeah, it's that type of improvisational.
Yes.
It's that type of controlled improvisation. Like, we think it's ad-libbing, but it's actually, like Caleb Williams will tell you, it's actually hard work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. Yes, we're not saying he is Patrick Mahomes, but we're not the only ones. That people are getting a little giddy after seeing Caleb Williams for the second time this preseason. And it's not just Bears fans. If you go on social media, there are national football writers and analysts who were not on the Caleb Williams bandwagon to start this preseason. And even they are saying, wow. And you know what was interesting, Carm? In talking to the players this week at Hallis Hall, well, first of all, DJ Moore just is gushing about Caleb Williams today after the game. He said, you saw it. You saw what he's capable of doing. Cole Kmet this week said, there is such a difference in Caleb Williams pregame. Well, we always call it your game face. You put on your game face. Last week they saw it in the locker room, that he just goes into a different mode and he starts to prepare mentally for the game. Every quarterback has their own routine. JJ even asked Ryan Poles about it. He said, listen, every quarterback has a different routine. He doesn't come out and warm up for an hour like some quarterbacks. His warm-up is actually shorter. He does much more of a mental focus in the locker room before the game.
Whatever works for you.
It's crazy. It's crazy as we get to learn more and more about Caleb Williams. We had a really nice showing today, bouncing back from back-to-back 3 and outs. He comes back, puts on a nice little show, a couple nice completions, his first touchdown, and a 7-yard scramble run at Soldier Field in his Soldier Field. 312-332-3776. When we come back, we still have who or what would be the Bears' advantage. We'll bring that to you when we come back on the postgame show, the Great Clips postgame show, right here on the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
Bears fans, Steinhoffels is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears, and this Bears season, Steinhoffels is partnering with my friends at Special Spaces Illinois to create dream bedrooms for children battling cancer. For every false start caused by the Bears defense during a home game, Steinhoffels will donate $1,000 to Special Spaces Illinois. Steinhoffels is Chicagoland's largest selection of furniture and mattresses at every style and budget, and 100% employee-owned. Shop in-store and online at Steinhoffels.com.
Great location of Chicagoland. Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Hodgkins. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer for negotiation. Restrictions apply.
You all know going solar is a great way to help create a healthier, cleaner planet. But the first step is finding a solar solution that makes sense for you. You may have questions about cost and convenience. ComEd has answers and tools like a solar calculator to help you see all your options. You don't even need solar panels to benefit from solar power. You just need the right information. Go to ComEd.com/solar to find a solar solution that works for you. Tito's handmade vodka on game day. Your meat and coach. From the seat of the stands to the best seat on the couch, look for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. No matter who's on your roster or lineup or jersey, look Tito's, your first round bottle pick. Whose house? Tito's house. Fun cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, name and crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, this is Dave Musil, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, and I personally guarantee to beat any quote on a new furnace and AC by up to $1,000. Even the so-called buy a furnace, get an air conditioner free. That's right. Four Seasons will beat any so-called buy one, get one free offer by $1,000. Four Seasons guarantees same-day installation, and we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So call today.
For all the right reasons, 6 Four Seasons.
The village of Bolingbrook is breaking out and elevating its game. Bolingbrook remains the most desirable Southwest suburban location to start or expand your business. Why? Over 50 corporate headquarters call Bolingbrook, and it's a prime commuter destination right off I-55 and I-355. Come be Bolingbrook. Elevate your future and the future of your business. Visit bebolingbrook.com. It's a great time to be Bolingbrook.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature. And with our easy-to-use app, check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Hearing vital organs would be temporarily removed to reach my cancer had me speechless. I'm Jessica, and my team at Northwestern Memorial Hospital coordinated complex surgery to save my life.
Nationally ranked for cancer by U.S. News and World Report, Jessica's team temporarily removed her liver and kidney to reach the tumor, replace the damaged vein, and eliminate the cancer in her heart.
My team said nothing, and now nothing can stop me.
Northwestern Medicine. Better.
You think we thank Papa Charlie, Chicago's favorite Italian beef specialist for 3 decades. It's Chicago's favorite 4-yard neck tailgate. Pick up Papa Charlie's Italian beef today at your favorite local Chicagoland retailer. Go to the Woodside on the play big, and a push to their side. It's blocked by left center, but put to the ground. Tyler Gordon, Spidey. Joey Prince is right there. Now near the 9-yard line. That was nothing after the catch once again. At the top of the field, Bears corners are up. Gordon blitzing. Woodside doesn't see him and buries him in the chest. And down goes Woodside. Literally knocked his block off. Now he came off
Never saw Gordon blitzing. Corner blitz. Kyler Gordon lays the hammer.
Jodiak and Thayer with Jason McKee. Bears football, ESPN Chicago.
Tyler Gordon is our Bears' advantage of the game. Tyler Gordon 4 tackles today, all solo tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, quarterback hit. You heard it, the corner blitz was working. He was everywhere today, just returning from injury as well. So good to see Tyler Gordon back. He is our Bears' advantage of the game, which is brought to you by Advantage Chevy Dealerships, home of the 60-minute guarantee. They'll have you driving off in your next Chevy in 60 minutes or less, or they will make your first car payment. Not only that, but the Advantage Dealer Group is also going to give you an opportunity to win a Chevy Equinox EV, a 2-year lease on a car. You have an opportunity to win a car in our post-game shows throughout the season. If you correctly guess who our Bears advantage is, your name goes into the hopper, and one lucky listener is going to win a 2-year lease on a Chevy Equinox EV. That is a sticker price of over $43,000, and that is courtesy of the Advantage Dealer Group. So mark the number down, 312-332-3776. We will start with that in our post-game shows for the week 1.
Got to be in it to win it, so you better be calling.
Got to be in it to win it. I just saw a great quote here in the post-game locker room interviews today after the Bears' 27-3 win against the Bengals in their 3rd preseason game. DJ Moore was asked about Caleb Williams' pocket awareness, and his answer was elite. Elite. You've seen him out there making people look silly? Yeah, it's elite. That's how good he looked today. And then interestingly enough, as we talk about the fact that they close out the preseason Thursday night in Kansas City against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, as highlights of Mahomes behind the back pass is making its way around social media today, Caleb Williams was asked today at the podium about his comparisons to Patrick Mahomes, and his response was, "I'm Caleb Williams. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Much love to them, but we are here to win games for the Chicago Bears."
Good for Caleb Williams. Good answer.
Right? Really good. Let's go out to the phone lines. We'll continue taking your phone calls. Prince is on the south side. Hello, Prince.
Hey, what's going on, folks?
How are you?
I'm fair to middling. Hey, I'm calling because I think you guys are kind of overlooking something on this Velus Jones thing. They're playing him at wide receiver. They're playing him at special teams. He's running down on special teams. They're trying him at running back. I don't think they're trying to make him a running back. I think they're trying to alleviate roster spots. Him being on the team clears up 3 spots at least. And I don't know why people seem to feel like they're making him a running back, because they're not.
So what are you saying? They're going to cut him? I think that's what we were saying before.
Opposite. They're going to keep him. They're going to keep him, and they're going to clear up by keeping him 3 roster spots.
But it still takes a roster spot up. I mean,
so here's
but you're not gonna keep, what's his name, Homer, probably. That gives you an extra special teamer that you can have, and you still categorize him as a wide receiver. That's 3 positions that you got a new person.
I will debate that with you, Prince. I don't think that they are going to categorize him as a wide receiver, and I'll tell you why. He will be designated as a running back, and that will bring down his value if they decide to keep him, and if they have to re-sign him one day.
Good point.
He's not going to be a wide receiver. He will be designated as a running back, or as a special teamer. So
that's a good take.
I see what you're saying, Prince, but
I'm not so sure they keep him over Travis Homer. That's the
I'm
thing.
not sure either.
Homer seems to be more involved in special teams, but
yeah, but
they really like him.
They do. And Prince, you're absolutely right about that. Let's continue on the phone lines in St. Charles. Brett has been hanging on as well. Hello, Brett. Welcome into the postgame show.
Hey, thanks, guys. How's it going?
Good.
I'm just loving this team. I'm loving this team. I mean, we're deep at all the skills positions. And, the most important thing I've been seeing, I think, in the last couple of weeks, I mean, I know we love talking about the big names, but it's almost like anybody that goes in there is just executing. So, you know, we always heard like the system out in San Francisco and the system here. It's looking like we finally have a system, and it's next man up type of stuff. And I'm just loving it. The last thing I wanted to say, and then I'll hang up, is my goal in life is to be like Yurko. How can I get a job where I only have to work 2 days a week? I'll talk to you guys later.
I don't know.
Oh, Brett.
Amen. I don't
Man.
know. He's got it.
I actually have that job. I actually have that job, Brett. I work Saturdays here on our flagship station hosting with Dion Miller, Peggy and Dion, and then I host with Yurko, the Bears postgame show. So
but you were retired. Like you came out of retirement to do this.
True. Yes.
You know,
that's
the
true.
good kid's on a different plan.
He's on his own retirement without actually declaring retirement.
Exactly. He worked 2 days.
Be like Yurko.
Exactly. And he was like,
Brett, that is such a good call.
He's the absolute best.
Thank you, Brett. We appreciate it. Let's keep going on the phone lines. Don't forget to continue throughout the Bears season, not only listening on the Chicago ESPN 1000, ESPN Chicago app for the Bears postgame shows. You can also follow us on Twitch as well. Follow along to see what Yurko does in the postgame, because you get to watch visually what he is like. You don't get to watch him as we watch the game together.
That's what you should set up. The camera should be set up on him.
During the game, watching the game. You're right about that, because we sit next to each other and I am all business.
Yes, he always says that about you.
I'm all business when I'm watching the game, because I feel that it's my responsibility. I can't miss something. I want to make sure that I know all the storylines going into the game. I want to know the players, that what they had during the week, what kind of practice weeks they had. I want to see, what formations they're coming out on, what trends they're doing. So I'm really zoning in. But he every now and then will yell at me and be like, "Get your head out of your notes and look at this." Look at what he sees during a game is what only a professional athlete can see.
When he's actually watching it, like then he sees it. Yes, that's why he says he doesn't have to take notes.
Yeah, because we would never be able to have the audio up on Twitch while he's watching the game, because he's actually watching harness racing or the ponies at a local
Saratoga.
At Saratoga with the audio up, mind you. So while I am watching, I'm listening to our audio of Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer's call and Jason McKee on the sidelines. I also try to keep one ear on the television broadcast, because sometimes you never know, they say something. And then I got to listen to Yurko
Talk about his golf game?
Talking about either his golf game or watching the ponies at Saratoga, or maybe having a little bit of flatulence from his lunch. Like that is what I have to go through watching the games with him.
Heck, I got an 8:30 tea time tomorrow.
I wouldn't want it any other way. I really wouldn't. 312-332-3776. We will continue with your phone calls when we come back.
What would you do with $1 million? Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana wants to give you the chance to find out in our $1 million giveaway. Earn July 1st through December 27th. Then join us each Friday for your chance to win a grand finale spot for a 1 in 500 chance to be the guaranteed winner of $1 million. The $1 million giveaway, exclusively at Hard Rock Casino Northern Indiana. Must be 21. See Players Club for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
With 3 locations to serve Chicagoland, Advantage Chevrolet gives you so much more. Visit and see the amazing inventory and savings at Advantage Chevrolet Bolingbrook. And Advantage Chevrolet values your time. They'll have you in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they'll make your first car payment. That's right. Drive off in your new Chevy in less than 60 minutes, or they will make your first car payment. Visit AdvantageChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Must mention offer apply arrival before negotiation. Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
8 months of thrilling playoffs, of impossible comebacks, of nerve-shredding putts on the 18th hole. Come down to one final showdown in Chi-Town. Catch Live Golf Chicago at Bolingbrook Golf Club from the 13th to the 15th of September and see John Rahm, Cam Smith, and Bryson DeChambeau in a 3-day battle to crown the new individual champion. 54 players, 3 days, 1 prize. Get your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
If you've been seriously injured at work, in a car accident, or on a construction site, you may not know where to turn. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer and the managing partner of Morisi, Longo & Associates. We are the ones you need to call when you've been injured, the ones who gather the evidence and deal with the insurance companies. So here's the information to keep by your side. Our number is 312-372-9600, and our website is moricilongo.com, MORICILONGO.com.
I never knew owning a gourmet Italian pasta business could be this profitable.
Thanks to our Old National commercial banker.
That warehouse expansion loan?
Oh, and the help with our equipment leasing.
But still, gotta say, it seems like he loves the Italian pasta business more than we do.
La nuova attrezzatura ha reso il processo molto più efficiente. I mean, the new equipment, it makes it so much more efficient.
Really dedicated commercial bankers.
Sorry, got a little carried away there.
Another reason to choose Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
The village of Bolingbrook is breaking out and elevating its game. Bolingbrook is rated as the third most diverse suburb and the only community in Illinois to make Fortune's top 50 places to live in 2023. Why? Over 50 corporate headquarters call Bolingbrook home, and it's a prime commuter destination right off I-55 and I-355. Elevate your future and the future of your business. Visit bebolingbrook.com. It's a great time to be Bolingbrook.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Reardon Insurance Group in Chicago if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine said.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Advantage Chevrolet Bridgeview, your connection to your new Chevy. Drive home in less than 60 minutes or they'll make your first car payment. See them in Bridgeview or visit AdvantageChevrolet.com.
Restrictions apply. Ask dealer for details.
Snap to Whiteside. In trouble, and down he goes. He had nowhere to go. Sack back at the 2-yard, inside the 2-yard line. The pressure came home again, and the Bears forcing the Bengals to punt the football. First out of 10. Lombardi on the keeper. Gets the ball up. The ball is out. It's on the ground. Piled up near midfield. Bears think they've got it, and they do. The match point on the RPO didn't go their way. And coming up with the ball, Randolph out of U of I. Keith Randolph Jr. in the rain. And the Bears get their third takeaway of the day.
Peggy and Yurko postgame. ESPN Chicago.
3 takeaways led to 13 points by a very aggressive Bears defense today. Yes, they were playing against the Bengals backups. Most of the starters did not play for Cincinnati, but Daniel Hardy follows up last week's couple sacks with another sack today. Who else had a sack today? Kyler Gordon had a sack today. The defense looked great. Recapping today's Bears win, they're now 3-0 in the preseason for whatever that is worth. Defense looked fantastic. Even Caleb Williams was asked after the game what he's learned this preseason, and his answer was that our defense is really good. Defense looked fantastic again today. Very aggressive. Lots of blitzing from the cornerbacks, the nickelbacks. It was nice. Caleb rebounded after back-to-back 3 and outs. Found Williams-Odunze for another highlight pass today.
It's everywhere.
had his first touchdown on a 7-yard scramble, his first touchdown in his Soldier Field debut. And what else did we learn? Tyson Bagent looked very good today. Backup defensive backs looked very good today. And Simone Biles, the GOAT, was at Soldier Field today as her husband, Jonathan Owens, got the start at safety, and Kevin Byard sat out today. Simone Biles, though, needs a new coach.
I would agree. New coat.
She needs a new coach. She was wearing the Jonathan Owens coat from the Green Bay Packers days.
I saw it.
And everyone from Tony Medlin, who runs the coat drive for the Bears in November, to Jalen Johnson's stylist, to Chris Juszczyk, who makes those coats she made the coat for Taylor Swift last year. We need a coat for the GOAT.
Yeah.
We need a coat for the GOAT.
Have Juszczyk's wife make a coat
That's
for...
what I sent out an X message to her.
Let's
Chris
go.
Juszczyk, we need
Make
a coat for the GOAT.
Yeah.
It needs to be Chicago all over it. Chicago and Chicago Bears. Seriously, though, preseason finale is Thursday night, 7:20 kickoff against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at Geha Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. We will have the pregame show for you 4 hours before kickoff. We will have the pregame show at 5 o'clock Thursday night. Then we carry the game with Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer on the call. Jason McKee roaming the sidelines for us. And then Yurko and I will have the post-game show immediately following the game. And then, of course, we have the post-game show as well. All of that can be heard not only on the Chicago Bears radio network, but the pregame and the post-game can be heard on your flagship station, ESPN 1000. It was a good day today, Carm.
It was. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Not a great start by the offense, but it finished great. Continued with the backups in the second half. It was all around these last 2 weeks. What can you say? They've given up 9 points in the last 2 exhibition games, and the offense moved the ball.
Defense has not given up a touchdown yet.
It's been great for, like you said, for whatever it means. And
right.
It's 3-0 in the preseason, but these last 2 weeks have been very encouraging.
And let's not forget the coaches as well. The coaches made an audible today. They were expecting to play the starters. Caleb Williams and the starters were expected to play 1 quarter after going 3 and outs and the offense stalling. They called an audible. They let Caleb stay in the game for the entire first half. He was able to right the ship, get in a groove, make some adjustments, did not let it get to him. Instead, he kind of leaned into the adversity and he made some nice adjustments.
Finish strong. That's the most important thing. It's all good.
It's exactly what you want. We do not know whether or not the starters will be playing next week. He told, Flus told Jeff Joniak in the postgame here on the Chicago Bears radio network that he has not made a decision yet. The coaches will talk about that this week. And I'm going to say it's going to be Tyson Bagent is going to be the star of Hard Knocks this Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Central Time on HBO.
You might be right, especially after that performance.
He looked really good today.
Yeah, he did.
He and Dante Pettis, even Coach Flus pointed that out, that both of them, not only the throws, but that Dante Pettis ran some really nice
And Simone
routes.
Biles on the sidelines at the game.
Yeah.
That'll be part of it.
I don't know if we need any more Simone Biles in Hard Knocks.
Listen.
I love her.
Like you said,
I
she's the
love
GOAT.
her. I love her, but we need to get her a new coach. Yeah. All right. Our thanks go out to our executive producer, Eric Ostrowski, Kevin Zepak, and Sean Graney, also working in the booth today. Our broadcast crew, as always, Jeff Joniak on the call with Tom Thayer, former 85 Bear, and Jason McKee, former Bears fullback, is working the sidelines for us as well. Our thanks to our guest today, Caleb Williams, with his interview with Jason McKee. Also, J-Mac talked to Jonathan Owens. Head coach Matt Eberflus joined Tom and Jeff after the game. Our next game, Thursday night, 7:20 kickoff against Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Don't forget, you can stay tuned to ESPN 1000, the flagship station, and tune into the ESPN Chicago app throughout the week for everything Bears. For Carmen, thank you for sitting in today
You
for
got it.
Yurko. Thank you for being so positive, too.
My pleasure. D-minus.
I'm Peggy Kaczynski. You've been listening to the Great Clips postgame show on the Chicago Bears Radio Network. As we say goodbye to our affiliates, we welcome the rest of you to stand by. The postgame show with Jeff Meller, Jason McKee, and Pat the Designer is next.
So you call your virtual insurance company to ask a simple question about your policy, but now you're on hold listening to this music while you wait and wait. Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and pick up the phone when you call, because you shouldn't be on hold so long that you memorize the music. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Reardon Insurance Group in Chicago if auto owners make sense for you.
Westfield Ford is your hometown Ford team. For nearly 40 years, Westfield Ford has been treating customers right and saving them more. Decades of terrific service has built the loyal following that Westfield enjoys today. Customers can count on a terrific inventory of over 300 new Fords and quality pre-driven vehicles. And big-time savings without all the hassles and games every time they visit. Often imitated, never duplicated. Westfield Ford on LaGrange Road in Countryside and westfieldford.com.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine said.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Your company can save money by becoming more energy efficient. In fact, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program can help your business find up to 35% in energy savings, resulting in lower energy costs for its facilities. At ComEd, we're not just moving toward a clean energy future. We're powering the future of your business. Sign up for your free facility assessment at comed.com/poweringbiz. Tito's handmade vodka on game day? Pour me in, coach. From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. No matter who's on your roster, lineup, or lucky jersey, make Tito's your first-round bottle pick. Whose house? Tito's house. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. If you have a clogged toilet or sink, problem with your air conditioner, have an issue with your electrical system, or you need a generator for your home, you can count on Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, Chicagoland's trusted local expert for over 50 years, with over 20,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
In football, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, they save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut, delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Our patient Mike had blood clots deep in his lungs that were putting his heart under major duress. Using a minimally invasive procedure pioneered by our team, we were able to clear them.
Top ranked in Illinois for heart and vascular by U.S. News and World Report, Northwestern Memorial Hospital used tiny balloons to widen the vessels in his lungs, the first in Illinois to master this breakthrough method.
As Mike's nurse, I'm proud to have helped him breathe freely again.
Northwestern Medicine. Better.
Toyota National Sales Event is on. Visit your local Toyota dealer and snap up the Toyota that's right for you. Hurry in now before it all ends. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago, WMVP, WTBC HD2, Chicago.
You've been listening to Bears football on the Bears Radio Network. The Chicago Bears Radio Network is brought to you in part by Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, by Miller Lite, and by Great Clips. This is Bears football on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Thanks for listening to the Chicago Bears Radio Network.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Miller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Yes, indeed. The Bears continue to roll in the preseason, getting a 27-3 victory at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. And listen, there's plenty of room over the next 2 hours to talk about all things Bears related. If you want to jump on in and join us on this rainy Saturday evening, 312-332-3776. We're glad to have you. But listen, Caleb Williams is somebody who is across the league generating headlines. People can't stop talking about him. The throw to Rome with
your air conditioner have an issue.
Ridiculous. Seeing what he's capable of, the breaking the pocket, rolling to his left, off platform, and then just putting it in a spot where Rome can go and get it was magnificent. And it had everybody across the league reacting to it. You've got the Mahomes comps. You've got the Aaron Rodgers comps. I saw the side-by-side already put together of an almost identical play by Aaron Rodgers against the Lions years ago, making that play in a regular season game. You know, so there's reason to be excited, Bears fans. We saw him do all of this in college, and that's why scouts got so excited. But, man, to see him do it, I know it's just preseason, but to see him now do it for 2 consecutive weeks, you have to be damn excited, J-Mac.
Yeah, and the thing, you described a lot of physical attributes and talent that he has, right? The thing that I was most impressed by just watching him today and his interaction in between series when things wasn't going well to start off offensively, when they had those 3 drives in a row, they went 3 and out, his poise remained the same. He didn't get mad. He didn't get too high. He didn't yell at anybody. He was on the sideline. He's going over, the previous series with quarterback coach Kerry Joseph. Shane Waldron's right there. In between plays on the field, he's dancing with the music. He's keeping the huddle intact, keeping command of the offense. And he goes out there that last drive before halftime and puts on a display. And everything that you said, he shows us why he is, the number 1 pick and why everybody's so excited about his future here in Chicago.
Yeah, and of course, Jason McKee has the unique sidelines look during the game broadcast that he brings to us right here on the post-game show after every Bears game. Again, I'm Jeff Meller, Jason McKee, Pat the Designer, hanging out with you. Pat, how do you react to such a fun display by the Bears' young rookie?
What excited me about today was that we got to see what it's actually probably going to look like in the real season, right? As Bears fans, we want to come out on fire. I want Caleb Williams, ... You know what I mean? Like that's what in our minds we're expecting. It's probably not the case. You're probably going to see something similar to what we saw today, where 3 and out. Things were just a little bit off. Things just weren't. It wasn't perfect, and because of that, J-Mac, you've said this before. Things have to go perfect for you to get those 5-yard passes, those 10-yard passes to be complete. To me, seeing him, all right, that didn't go how we planned. Come back out in that beginning of that second quarter, and you start to see them get the operation together. You start to see them figure it out. You start to see him navigate it. Those are the things that as a young quarterback, they're veteran quarterbacks in the NFL that struggle with that. When the game plan doesn't start off great, when the script doesn't start off great, it doesn't. When it goes off script, it doesn't always come back to him. To me, the fact that you saw him go through those first 3 drives and struggle and shout out to Flus. Little difference in opinion there from what we heard from Ryan Poles on the broadcast versus what we heard from Flus on the podium. Poles said that Flus put him out there longer than they were expected to play. And Flus said that
you're referencing it. I'll play it. This is Matt Eberflus after the game. Yeah. Because there was a lot of speculation, like you said. I did hear Ryan Poles praise him for kind of altering the plan. But Matt Eberflus in the postgame, when he was asked about that, as Pat was just alluding to, this was his answer about the idea of you went 3 and out for 3 consecutive drives. So did that change the way you guys approached it?
No, that was the range that we had. So, we don't go into it and say, hey, we're going to play a quarter, or two quarter, whatever, quarter and a half. That doesn't work. So, how you do it is you say, hey, we're going to have a range of series and a range of number of plays. And then, like I said the other day at the presser, that's how you see the ebb and flow of the game. And guys are able to play until we say, okay, hey, that's good as a group. And again, I ultimately make that decision, but we like to do it that way.
Yeah, I like hearing that. I don't know who's, maybe Flus is telling us the truth, maybe Poles. I just love, I don't care. He went back out there. Yeah. He was able to operate. He was able to navigate it. And all of a sudden you saw them be a little bit more aggressive. Let's go down the field. And they started to get a feel for the game. I think that is important. And that is what excited me today.
Well, to your point, just from, seeing that after those 3 drives, and I'm standing right there behind him, He had his helmet the whole time, and Bagent, Rippon, or Reed, none of those guys were warming up. They had their sideline hats on. So it wasn't like there was a discussion, from my viewpoint, between Caleb and Waldron and Kerry Joseph, the quarterback coach, them trying to decide whether or not he was going in. He had his helmet the whole time after that 3rd drive, and those guys weren't warming up. So he knew he was going back in, from my view.
Of course. No, and listen, you laid it out, and I think anybody who was watching that game, that was common sense, right? Yeah. It was like they went 3 straight drives where they went 3 and out, and I think he had one short completion to Cole Kmet during those 3 drives. But I don't know if I listened to his whole post game. It wasn't asked directly. I don't know if he was a little amped up because it was his first home start at Soldier Field. That's a possibility. Yeah. I know that throw to Gerald Everett seemed like that was
high.
Could have been it could have been nerves, whatever it was, but it was. Anybody who was watching the game, it was common sense to be like, you know what? You didn't show up to go 3 and out, 3 straight drives and go home here. I think most people would have thought, listen, if I was coaching this football team, I'd send them right back out because there was, no real reason not to. And so whether, it's Ryan Poles giving flowers to Matt Eberflus just because he feels like sometimes he gets unwarranted criticism. And so that's a way to balance it out. Nevertheless, it was common sense, and it's good to see the Bears approach a preseason game with a common sense mentality.
But I think, yes, is it common sense? 100%. But as Jay-Z once said, common sense ain't been common sense. Like this has been a problem for the Bears, and that's why I want to commend Flus for it, because last season, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, that would have been the end of it. Let's get them up out of there. There's a change. There's a difference in how they're operating. There's been a change in how they've operated at training camp. It's clearly showing an effect in these games. There's been a change in how they're viewing the preseason. It's clearly showing in these games. Even Adam Amin, right? When we got to the end of the first quarter, Adam Amin was like, well, I guess that'll be it for the first team offense. You didn't see much from him, but you know that rookies are going to go through those things. He's preparing to start calling the Bagent show, and we didn't see that come in. I'm commending Flus for changing his approach to how he's done the preseason.
Yeah, and like I said, even the offensive line, like those guys, the starters, they remained intact. Now, here the one thing that did change, if you look at it, was the receiving corps, because you saw. DJ was on the sideline, Keenan was on the sideline, but then you saw Nasimba Webster was in there, Rome was in there at the same time, Tyler Scott. And I really, and going back to it too, just looking at the first 3 drives, right? The very first play, Coach Waldron goes sprint, right? They sprint out to the left, high percentage throw, easy half field read for a rookie quarterback, get him in rhythm. Let's throw the flat route to Keenan Allen. Now, you may say the ball was too high. I don't think it was. It went right through the hands of Keenan. It went right through the hands of Keenan. And Keenan will come out and say, I got to make that catch. Yeah. But here's where Caleb, when I interviewed him post-game, he said, I got to be better.
Yes.
He's a quarterback. He's going to put it on himself. He's never going to lay it on his teammates. That's a sign of a true leader.
And if you missed it, don't worry. We'll share Jason McKee's post-game interview with Caleb Williams with you on the post-game show. We'll probably do it in the next 15 minutes. So stay locked in and we'll provide that for you. If you missed it during the Bears Radio Network post-game show, we'll rerun it for you here on the post-game show. Just a lot to be very excited about for Bears fans. And you texted me, you, J-Mac, and I already had it ready to go. But it should come as no surprise that we're going to address this early on, because when Tyreek Hill, who is voted the top player, whether you agree with it or not, the top player by the NFL players, according to the NFL Network, tweets out in the middle of the game, when he goes out and tweets, Caleb Williams is so nice. He remind me of ... And we obviously can go ahead and draw our own conclusions. It's
either one is solid. Like whether he's talking about Pat Mahomes or Tua, at this point, based on what we've had, I'll take it.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna lean more towards.
I would like more Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'd like more Mahomes.
I like Tua,
but I'm gonna lean more towards Patty Mo. I'll give Tyreek Hill. I'll give Tyreek Hill.
What's the name?
A good
Patty Mo.
Like that.
A good job by him, because plausible deniability with him. He didn't hang his quarterback out to dry, but we all know exactly what he's talking about. So Caleb Williams was asked in the post game about, listen, you're doing some ridiculous things. And then, by the way, for all the Bears fans who are locked in on the Bears game, if you haven't seen it yet, Patrick Mahomes pulled out the behind the back pass in his game today.
I gotta see that.
We'll show it to you during the break, J-Mac. So Pat Mahomes is doing that. And so, of course, because of what Caleb Williams has done these first couple of weeks, everybody is going out and saying, look at Patrick Mahomes out here thinking he's Caleb Williams. Now, listen, that is no doubt a social media made joke, and we're gonna take it and run with it. But Caleb Williams was asked about it in the post-game show. In the post-game press conference about, hey, how do you feel about comps from someone like Tyreek Hill coming publicly, where he's throwing out, or insinuating the name Patrick Mahomes, and this is what Caleb Williams had to say in the post-game.
It's cool. It's great. I always say, it's respect. But we're not, we weren't our best today. We started out slow. And we can't do that in this, the National Football League. You can't come out here and start slow. So myself included, we're going to get a lot better. We're going to keep growing. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it, winning these games, going out there versus other teams, playing as one. And so, we're excited, but I got to your question. It's respect. It's cool and all, but, I'm Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. Much love to them and things like that. Met them, talked to them both and things like that. But, we're here to win games for Chicago Bears.
He's just oozes professionalism.
Yeah, he does. I just like his, what I mean? But what happened after we sputtered? You know what I'm saying?
It's cool. It's great.
The crazy thing is, everybody talks about him and comparing him to Pat Mahomes, and obviously Caleb's a fan of Aaron Rodgers, but he's a real fan of Matt Stafford. Like there was, he's like Matt Stafford is the best.
He said Matt Stafford top 3.
Yeah, he said he's top 3.
He said 2.
He said he loves Matt Stafford.
Yeah, and we all know his feelings about Aaron Rodgers. He's got this weird, it does seem like
a lot of NFC North love though. He was destined to come here.
He's got when you meet, he's got that quiet confidence where he knows he's going to be great because he's put in the work, but nothing phases him because it's like he almost knows, like, whatever happens, I'm still destined for greatness. Like, I know what my end game is going to be, so it doesn't matter what bump in the road I encounter at the beginning of my career, because at the end of the day, like, my goal is to be in Canton one day with multiple Super Bowls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jason McKee, you're so right about that. When I think spending time, I don't know this for a fact, but like, for instance, on Hard Knocks this past Tuesday, we were breaking it down, and Williams-Odunze is out there quoting Kobe Bryant, and he's telling young receivers, a couple of like high schoolers who are at Bears camp in the last Hard Knocks episode, he's telling them, listen, Kobe always said he never took a shot last second that he hadn't taken 1,000 times before in practice. And he's like, that's the same thing you need to do. That's as a wide receiver. You can't go out there and make a catch that you haven't made or attempted to make 1,000 times in practice. And I have to believe just the conversations, everything we've heard from Caleb Williams, what you just referenced, Williams-Odunze and him being so tight as rookies together, which again, I still think you see it here today, right? Even that relationship is blossoming, and I don't know if they could have dreamed it up working out any better so far. It still obviously has to carry on into the regular season as performers together, but the way they just seem to complement each other, not just as players, quarterback and wide receiver combo, but as personalities go, right? They seem to just thrive off of each other.
I see that, and I'm gonna go back to, yes, they're talented players. Yes, they're top 10 picks. Are they producing the super talented? Yes, but I'm still gonna go back to Waldron, right? If you look at the play call, the first play for Rome, right? The reverse for 16 yards, right? that's such a great way to get a young guy involved in the game, right?
Yeah.
Rome didn't have a catch last week. Let's get him involved. He hadn't had a catch yet. Let's put the ball in his hand, right? So what does he do? He goes 21 personnel. You put the fullback in there. You think the defense thinks, okay, they're going to run power. Instead of running power, we fake power. We run reverse. Boom. Roman 16 yards. Nobody keeps contained. Now he's in the game. Now he's lathered up. I'm here. I belong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give Walden some credit. And I know it's preseason. I know it's a 2, so don't eat me alive, guys. But at the same time, the play calling in which he's getting his young guys involved. He's dialing things up for them. He's trying to get them in the game. He's trying to make them comfortable. Like, it's awesome right now to see.
Yeah, I think here's my thing too, right? And everybody keeps saying, well, it's the twos. Guys, relax, it's twos. When you say it's the twos versus this team, those are guys that are fighting for their lives right now. Those are guys that are fighting for jobs. They are not going half speed. That's why I wanted to
100%.
see this first team offense versus the twos, because guess what you're going to get with the ones, right? The ones are trying to get work in. They trying to get, like J-Mac said, lathered up. Let's figure it out. Let's get through this without getting injured. Not to say that you're not going that day's version of 100%, but you're probably not going as 100% as you would if you're at week 6 of the regular season. The twos are going 150% right now, because if I don't get to Caleb Williams, I don't have a job next week. And I think that this is a great test to see this, because you saw early on the defense was getting after it. Who was the edge rusher that was going at Braxton Jones? He was killing him early on in the game. And I was just like, yo, Braxton, like, this is a 2. We got to step it up here, dog. Like, right. I need to see more from you. Yeah. Like, they didn't treat this like it was just, we're the weaker team versus the Bears. I think that the Bears got a little bit, early on, it was a little bit tougher because the twos were like, we got the ones. We're coming at you 150%. And that's why I was excited to see the Bears be able to adjust to that, the ones offensively be able to adjust to that, because that's the kind of intensity you're going to see in the regular season. Maybe not the same level of talent, but that level of intensity that they saw today is what you're going to see week 1 versus the Titans.
That's the voice of Pat the Designer. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Bears fullback from the past, blast from the past, Jason McKee. He's on the sidelines for the Bears Radio Network at every game, breaking it down on the post-game show with you. When we come back, we'll let you hear that magnificent throw from Caleb Williams to Williams-Odunze and how it sounded courtesy of Jeff Joniak. And we'll let you hear Caleb Williams break it down the way he did in the post-game show right here on the post-game show on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie. I want to tell you about my friends at Window Nation. Call them today at 866-90-NATION. And everyone is talking about Window Nation. Not only did I replace my windows in the kitchen, in the master bedroom, and in my kids' room, I went back for a second year in a row and replaced my windows in the living room. I get tweets from our listeners all the time telling me, hey, Sylvie, I just got my new windows from Window Nation. And right now, they're celebrating their anniversary. Happy anniversary to Window Nation. And you can celebrate as well with great deals. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free with no limit. So buy 4, you'll get 4 free. Plus, you'll have no interest payments for 24 months. And on top of all of that, they'll give you an extra $250 credit as well. So call my guys at Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. You got to hurry, though. The sale ends on August 31st. It's windownation.com or 866-90-NATION.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi there. I need a great connection to stream my favorite shows and movies.
Okay.
Is there a way I can get that and save money too?
We wondered the same thing. So we put our engineer brains together to give you the best of both worlds with Xfinity Internet Plus Stream Saver. You get Apple TV Plus, Netflix, and Peacock all for one low price.
Oh, so I can keep up with my coworker who spoils every show before I can watch it?
Exactly. And hey, you might even pass him.
Oh, Donna, it is so on.
Now through September 22nd, get 150 megabit Xfinity Internet for $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And Wi-Fi equipment included. Plus, add Stream Saver for just $15 a month. Visit Xfinity.com, Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rate supply, currently $71 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity Internet or TV and price subject to change.
Hi, I'm Bob. At American Sail, we're known for having the largest selection of pools, patio sets, hot tubs, and grills. And as summer winds down, we need to make room so you can take advantage of our annual clearance event. Save up to 60%. That's right, 60%. And get 0% financing for 5 years. Our beautiful Maui 6-piece patio set is now only $8.99. Save over $1,000. Plus, free delivery. See store for details. The clearance event is going on now at American Sail. American Sail, bring the fun home.
Few Whiskey. Have you met us? Few is born of defiance and comes from Evanston, the town where the temperance movement started and prohibition lasted until 1972. Here at Few, we make whiskey the only way we know how, our way. We use an iconic 70-20-10 mash bill. We mash, ferment, distill, bottle, and age all right here in Chicagoland. Few makes Chicago-style whiskeys for Chicago whiskey drinkers. Few Spirits, Incorporated 2011, 46.5% alcohol by volume. Evanston, Illinois, 60202.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Gonna throw it down the field, a shot down the field, pass caught inside the 10. A rookie-to-rookie connection. Williams-Odunze. First and goal for the Bears inside the 10. The Magic on the move. On full display right there. Giving his guy a shot. The deep ball accuracy and a 45-yard strike to Odunze.
There it is. The throw heard right here on your home for Chicago Bears football, ESPN Chicago. I'm Jeff Meller along with Jason McKee, who was on the sidelines watching that play. And Pat, the Designer, we're here with you post game after every Bears game. Right as soon as Peggy and Yurko today, Carm, wrap up, we will take you home for another 2 hours breaking down every Bears game during the regular season. The Bears beat the Chiefs today, and that was the highlight that has gone viral, no doubt about it. Caleb Williams, not just on that play, but multiple times showed you his pocket presence and just keeping his eyes up and downfield. Not, it is in some ways, if you're a football fan, it is absolutely breathtaking to watch the way he's handling the pressure inside the pocket. There was one play earlier before he made that completion where he actually had an opportunity to make a little bit better throw, but he actually hurried it just a touch. Yeah. But, that didn't deter him because as you heard right there, that completion to Odunze was just brilliant. And it's the reason why every draft Nick out there was so excited about Caleb Williams as a prospect. And now, granted, to be great in this league, you need to week in and week out be consistent, right? And not turn the ball over and help lead your team to scoring drives, scoring points, being productive in the red zone. All of that will come, and we'll evaluate Caleb Williams as the season progresses. We can't do any of that now. It's going to take time. You're right. We're in the very early stages. It's like you're trying to get an A in a class, and but you like it's the first day of class here, right? So we can't get ahead of ourselves, but we can be excited about what we've seen. And that's another play where everybody was excited. As I mentioned, it had everybody throwing out all the Patrick Mahomes comps, all the Aaron Rodgers comps.
Yeah, here's the thing, too. You talk about, right, his ability to have a feel in the pocket, right, to be able to see defenders when he can't see them. You don't have eyes in the back of it. But here's the one thing, right? We've seen a lot of young quarterbacks that have escapability, right? What do they do with the football? It's held in one hand. There's no ball security. Every time he scrambled, he has two hands on the ball. Like, it's just awesome to see. Yeah. And that's the coach me coming out because, as a coach, you're like, secure the ball. You know what I'm saying? You're just looking at that. You don't want nobody to get a strip sack or anything like that. But like, you can just tell he's been so well coached. Like, he's got that escapability. That's God-given. But then the fundamentals and the coaching comes into play when you see him. Okay, I'm scrambling. I've got to be aware that there's people around me trying to swat at the ball, two hands on the ball, but then having the ability to all of a sudden pull the trigger when he needs to and put that ball in an accurate location. Like, it's awesome to see. It really is.
And I think it is. You don't want it feels weird as a Bears fan to make any comparison to like great quarterbacks, but it feels Mahomes like where it's almost, why didn't they just bring that guy down? How didn't they just catch him in the pocket right there with how he's very precise with his steps. He's able to move away, but then he tries to get his base back so that he can still make a throw down the field. And he's still looking for his receivers now to make a play because more than likely whatever he was going for didn't develop. Like, that's such a breath of fresh air to have on this team as far as quarterback play, because it's something that, as much as we liked Justin Fields as an athlete, the pocket awareness was always the biggest issue. It was like, dog, you gotta know, right? Like today, the corner blitz. When Justin would get hit by those, we would be like, you gotta know that play's coming.
Yeah. Well, another thing too, right? I know it's another story for another day, but it's the protection. You know, you got a 5-man protection. They're bringing 6.
Yeah.
It's like, Justin, you got to see it, but let's get a better protection call.
Yes.
Or let's have better route concepts to get the ball out faster, knowing that that's something we can encounter. We only have 5, 5-man protection.
It all goes together. It's Shane Waldron doing that. It's Caleb Williams understanding it. It's Caleb Williams trusting the system. I think that it is a breath of fresh air, not just that we have a quarterback that has the ability to do that, but like you said, that we're getting a scheme that seems to fit and allow him to do those things.
Well, he's just changing. I like the fact that he's always changing the pocket. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like a boxer. If you're not moving your head, if we're throwing a jab, I know where your head's going to be. You know what I'm saying? He's changing the pocket. We saw a sprint out the very first play. Then we saw Boot coming off of that. Then you see him sit in the pocket and deliver a nice ball to Cole Kmet over the middle. Like, it's always changing the pocket, changing that launch point. Like, it's awesome to see.
And yeah, and then when you do that time after time, now defenses are on their heels and they can't pin their ears back and just, race to that one spot in the pocket that you're talking about, which at this level, they will do time and time again, and that's why the guys who can't do what Caleb Williams is capable of, that's why I am so excited, because the talent's on display. Again, there's a lot that goes with it and it's still very early. But there's very few guys in the game who are capable of doing what he's showing us very early on. And again, what we just played coming in, that completion to Williams-Odunze was absurd, rolling to his left, right? And then off platform, dropping it in the bucket right there along the sidelines.
He spent around to his left and then got his shoulders turned and just
that's what I love about it. Yes.
And the funny thing is, when I watched that play, right, all I thought was a teardrop, right? And I'm not talking about the ball dropping into the hands of Williams-Odunze. I'm talking about teardrop from my eyes, because I was so beautiful. I was like, this is just great. Finally, thank you. Like, this is awesome. I had a teardrop coming out of my eye. But I mean, it's still early, but at the same time, us as a fan base and in Chicagoland and as Bears fans, like, there's a lot of things to be excited about. And let's just hope he, carries it on throughout the regular season.
Can we do this for the analysis, at least for the rest of this show, because they're not going to play in the Thursday game? We all know it's early, guys. Like, for the people listening, it's early. But you don't very rarely, I can't think of a time in my life where you saw this early.
No.
And it didn't happen. I can't think of it. Somebody let me know the quarterback that looked like a god. And I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is at that level, but I mean, like, some of those throws are God-level throws in preseason. And then all of a sudden, when the regular season got here, it's like, it was the end of it, boys. I used all the magic up. Yes, it's early.
Yeah.
But it's okay to be excited by what we're seeing, because those things are really happening versus real NFL defenses.
And I'll tell you what, facing a little bit of adversity here early on, going 3 consecutive drives, 3 and out, and then being able to bounce back and get in your rhythm is only going to help him as they move into the regular season. It's like that, it was a blessing in disguise. I truly believe it, because had they come out and done what he did very early on, it would have been awesome and great to see. But it is good to see him face a little bit of adversity here early on. Yeah. And to your point, this is why it's great to have J-Mac on the post-game show, because he's on the sidelines during the game. He's watching what's going on. And just reiterate, tell us what you observed of Caleb during those first 3 drives when they were going 3 and out.
Yeah, like I said, it was, the young quarterbacks will get mad, they'll get frustrated. You even seen quarterbacks throw the helmet on the sideline. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he remained even keeled. He was coming off. He was going through, that previous drive with Coach Joseph, who's a quarterback coach, and Coach Waldron. In the huddle, in between timeouts, he's dancing to the music. He's keeping everybody intact in the huddle, keeping the confidence up. And then he goes out there before the half and puts together highlight plays and leads a big drive. So it's good that he has that composure, because that's something that you don't see from a lot of young rookie quarterbacks that have a world of expectations on their shoulders. You don't see that often.
So I teased it. I do want to play it. Caleb Williams in the post-game press conference was asked, how do you make a throw like that on the move so accurately? And this was his response.
It's something that I've worked on in practice. Watching Aaron Rodgers and I know he was a Green Bay guy, sorry guys, but watching Aaron Rodgers and all his times, these past 19, 20 years, he can do unbelievable things, right, left, running straight, running left, running all these other things. Just practicing it over time, perfecting it. Obviously, there's going to be times where, I don't put exactly where I want to, but, today it worked out. Rome ran a great route, or Rome had a good exit plan from his route and, got upfield and made a marvelous catch, a wonderful catch. I tried to just give him a shot.
So there you go. He's been pressing it his whole life, basically. And so practice makes perfect. Yeah. Good to hear. That was Caleb Williams. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Jason McKee and Pat, the designer of the post-game show, taking your calls, 312-332-3776. I mentioned that J-Mac had a chance to catch up with Caleb Williams after the game. We'll let you hear that coming up next, right here on ESPN Chicago.
ESPN Chicago.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. Where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hi, this is Dave Musial, owner of Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. If you have a clogged toilet or sink, problem with your air conditioner, have an issue with your electrical system, or you need a generator for your home, you can count on Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, Chicagoland's trusted local expert for over 50 years, with over 20,000 five-star reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4Seasons.
We all know going solar is a great way to help create a healthier, cleaner planet. But the first step is finding a solar solution that makes sense for you. You may have questions about cost and convenience. ComEd has answers and tools, like a solar calculator, to help you see all your options. You don't even need solar panels to benefit from solar power. You just need the right information. Go to comed.com/solar to find a solar solution that works for you.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam Abdallah. Football is approaching, and it's time to get in on all of the action early this season. You can bet on player props like touchdowns, total passing yards for the season, and more. You can get in on great team markets like whether or not a team will make the playoffs, win the division, and possible Super Bowl matchups. And you can even parlay those together for even bigger payouts. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for the football season than on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NFL. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/Abdallah to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA. You must be 21 or over and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Cubs fans, stream Cubs games now. Marquee Sports Network brings you a new way to stream your favorite team. Visit watchmarquee.com to subscribe and stream Chicago Cubs baseball, pre- and post-game shows, exclusive programming, and more. Your Cubs, your way. Subscribe now at watchmarquee.com.
When it comes to hard work, there's one important rule. Pick the right tool for the right job. That's why Chevy offers a family of Silverado pickup trucks designed just for the job. Go to ChevyDriveChicago.com and put a Silverado in your toolbox.
Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Taking your calls on the post-game show after another Bears victory in the preseason. They're now 3-0, and the starters got their second game action. And Caleb Williams, after 3 consecutive series going 3 and out, bounced back. We have not mentioned yet the pass interference, which was a long gainer to Tyler Scott. Now that play was clearly, in all likelihood, looked like it was going to be a completion. Now, Scott would have had to complete the catch, but Caleb Williams put that ball right on the money before the Bengals defender basically course-collared Tyler Scott. So that was a no-doubter PI. That went for 42.
Yeah.
And that doesn't go on the stat line. So even though the stats, because he did start out slow, started one of 5, I think.
1 for 5, yeah.
1 for 5. He finished 6 of 13 on the day.
Yeah.
So, take that into account. But he did have also the long PI to throw in there. We've already talked a lot about the completion to Williams-Odunze. You'll hear Caleb break it down with J-Mac here in a moment. But I do want to, before we play that for the folks out there, guys, on the very next, I don't know if it was the very next play, but on that drive, when Caleb does throw a pass to the back of the end zone to a wide open Williams-Odunze on a play where, again, he scrambles out nicely on a naked boot. He evades the defender, puts his shoulder down, fakes, and then ends up extending the play towards the sidelines, and he has Williams-Odunze open. Now, Rome fails to get his feet down at the back of the end zone, but it was another brilliant throw that goes down as an incompletion on the stat sheet.
Yeah, it was. I mean, listen, seeing how, again, he made that play happen, right? As things started to break down, as guys started to come through, he's the one being shifty enough. And I think that a lot of people were nervous that you would lose some of that shiftiness in the pocket, that you would lose some athleticism. None. He's the one who's making that play last long enough to give Williams-Odunze a chance in the corner. Rome not being able to get the foot down. I got to blame Rome, right? You got to keep your feet in bounds. What was going on with that inline back there? What was that? What was going on with the field overall? What I got questions.
Preseason lines being drawn out.
Preseason lines.
Are we really asking what's going on with the field at Soldier Field? It's always something.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We've had J-Mac since Ryan Poles has been here.
We've
had a couple good years of field out here.
No, the field's always been trash. I'm sorry, Chicago. The field is garbage. And it was a discussion before the game. I'm down there, and I'm in the back of the end zone, and I'm looking across the field to the other end of the end zone, and you can see the lines of sod from one end zone to the other end zone. There's seams all over the field. Like, it held up with all the rain, but I mean, come on, the field's always bad.
Black and Abdallah gave us a little update on why it possibly could have been that on the pregame show. They said that apparently Metallica was here.
A concert.
Thursday, right? Thursday or Friday, something
they sodded the field. They resodded the field. I think it was Tuesday through Thursday. They resodded the field. Like,
plenty of time, you'd think, to listen.
Can we just paint the full line on the back? Like, what was that? That was my thing. Did they run out of time?
Normally, in the back of the end zone, towards the end line, during the regular season, I mean, if memory serves, I'm almost positive that is always a solid white,
completely.
And for whatever reason, they did not. So it was just a line, and then for whatever, maybe that's an excuse for Rome. I know he's not going to take it, and
like a soccer line, like you're like he's playing in the World Cup.
I thought it was high school. I was like,
I was like, why does something? It just looks off.
Yeah, and it's because usually in the back of the end zone, that end line, that entire 5 yards or whatever, it's usually a solid white, so that the receivers know where it is. And so
there was also no in racism in there. I was like, oh, it's done. Oh, it's good. It's good for this game. We didn't paint that. No racism anymore. It's over.
Instead, they had play football in the back line. So they've moved on apparently. But all things aside, despite the fact that Rome doesn't get his feet down, the throw again.
Amazing.
I'm telling you, like, when he rolled out, I'm standing right there, and I'm like, man, you know what? He's rolling. He's coming towards us, and I'm like, I'm going to have to catch this guy. So the security guard, he jumps behind me, and I'm like, well, where are you going? Like, so he's rolling out, and I guess right before he gets out of bounds, he throws the ball. He's right in front of me. I didn't even see the ball come out because I'm like, I'm going to have to catch Caleb so he didn't run into anybody.
You were like, you were priorities for J-Mac.
And then I look to my right, and everybody's screaming. He's running to the stands. He's getting the crowd pumped up. I mean, how exciting is that? Like, if you're a receiver in this offense, you've got to love the fact that, hey, your quarterback, the play is always going to be ongoing, and your quarterback is going to give you a chance to make a play. You got to be thrilled to play receiver in this offense.
So that's the voice of Jason McKee. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Pat, the designer, hanging out with you. And as I mentioned, J-Mac had a chance to catch up with Caleb Williams after the game, and this is what it sounded like when it aired originally in our first post-game show.
Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. Caleb often started to sputter early, maintain composure, and I even saw you on the sideline. You never got frustrated in between plays. You kept the vibe, you kept the huddle intact. Where did that poise come from?
Yeah, the poise honestly comes from a lot of hard work, understanding. In practice, I may get a little bit more frustrated than I do in games. So it's understanding the situation. We're in a game. It's game time. There's no need to be freaking out. It's going to happen throughout the year. It's going to happen in games where we, offense stalls. And, obviously we don't want it to. And obviously definitely not on the first 2 or 3 drives. We don't want the offense stalling and things like that. So, we got to get better. I got to be better for the guys. And, we'll definitely be better.
Break down the big 45-yard pass to Rome. Pocket collapse, you broke contain, you found him along the sideline for a big play. Break down that play for us.
Yep. So I believe the safety was in the middle of the field. I knew they were man, especially when the safety rotated down and he wasn't fully pressed, but he was about 5 yards away. I knew Rome was going to be one-on-one on a route that, I believe in Rome. And we actually kind of messed up on the route. Rome went a little more shallow than I thought he was. I wanted, the corner had outside leverage. I wanted Rome to go over the top and just, he had a free release to go over top and run towards the end zone. And, we weren't on the same page. And, things happen obviously. And we after, the big completion, we got to the sideline, we talked about it and things like that. So next time will be better for sure. But, that's why you draft, Williams-Odunze to go out there and make plays like that. We just made it work.
A lot of reps this week, obviously the joint practice on Thursday, game action here. You played for a half. Has the game slowed down for you in any way?
I think going versus, the defense that I've been going versus for the past, I really don't even know. I guess 3 months. I've been so stuck in camp with OTAs and camp, 3 months or 2 months or so. Seeing them every single day, and you obviously can see them out there. Obviously, they aren't showing, crazy things or crazy blitzes for these teams right now because they also understand the situation that is preseason and things like that. But they are gearing up, and you can see how explosive they are as a defense, and that says a lot for them. And so, the love that they get, for us is getting ball back fast as possible. The interceptions, the fumbles, the all of those, 3 and outs and things like that. It's been great. So it gives us as an offense to keep growing, keep building, and keep progressing.
Last question: how prepared do you feel for the season opener against the Titans? You got a half today. You may not get a lot of reps next week. Do you feel prepared for the season opener?
Yeah, I would say that we're going to keep going out there, myself and the offense included. We're going to keep getting better throughout these next couple of weeks of practices and things like that. For this next game, however it may work out. And then obviously, I think we have about a week and a half or almost 2 weeks before the Titans game. And then, we'll go into that, when that time comes, but we're going to prepare for this week, prepare for the Chiefs and get ready.
That was Caleb Williams with Jason McKee in the post-game show after the Bears victory 27-3 over the Bengals at Soldier Field. They play again on Thursday night at Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs. The question, of course, is will the starters be playing at all?
Yeah.
Now, Matt Eberflus in the post-game answered that, and it sounds like they're actually going to have a discussion about whether or not they will play.
We'll look at the tape and we'll just talk as a group. The players are off tomorrow, so we got the whole day to be able to really digest this performance from every level, including the quarterback. And then we'll just look at each other and say, yeah, this is good, or we'll have to, flow into the next one. And we'll see where that is. In terms of what I learned from him is what I've said all along. He always rises to the challenge, and we'll challenge him again this week to improve on basically everything of quarterbacking that he needs to. And he's done that. He's done a really good job of that. And so we'll just look at it like that.
And of course, I don't even know if we've said it yet, but the scramble that resulted in Caleb's first touchdown for, a first touchdown drive, he actually rushes into the end zone on just another stupid play where he's making professional athletes look like, they're playing in high school. And there it is.
You got something in your eye,
There's the
J-Mac? Is there
teardrop
something in your eye
again.
there, my guy?
Man, just give me a moment.
It's that post-nasal drip, dog. It's allergies, dog.
I just need a moment.
You're gonna it's going to be like a fountain here all season long with J-Mac. But that's okay because we're all going to be crying tears of joy, hopefully, if this continues. Because, man, it's been about as much as you could have asked for if you're a Bears fan from Caleb. It could not have. I really don't think it could have started much better than it has in these first 2 games where he's actually gotten game action.
No, it's been night and day. You know what I mean? Like from what we left last season from the feelings we had around this offense, the questions we had to where we are now. Are there still some questions on the field? Yeah, I still got some questions, and I see a lot of people in the YouTube chat as well. The O-line is still a question for me. I got some questions on the operation. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point today as well, right? But when you talk about a starting point, we are in 3 preseason games. And it feels like we are a more prepared football team than we were week 1 of Green Bay. That's commendation to Matt Eberflus. That's commendation to Ryan Poles getting these players in here to that come with a professional mindset already, right? That's commendation to the Bears and how they've gone about preparing themselves, the players that are on the field. That to me is a night and day difference. And that's why I said, yes, it's early. I'm not going to sit here and say it's early every time I want to talk about something good that this offense does. Because yes, it's early, but this looks better than what we left the season with.
Yeah. The caveat, it's preseason. Trust me. Everybody right here talking on the post-game show is well aware, but it's really all we have to work with.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and just bury your head in the sand like an ostrich and pretend and like none of this matters until we get to preseason. That's fine. But right now, our job, assess what we've seen. And so far, so good for the Bears as a franchise. Caleb Williams as a quarterback, as a rookie quarterback, looks like he's going to, the 4,000-yard barrier. If not this year, it's going to be broken very soon by him in his career. I have no doubts about that. So good things on the horizon. A 27-3 victory for the Bears against the Bengals. Talked a lot of Caleb Williams. We'll let you jump in. Open the phone lines 312-332-3776. We'll take your calls. Hang out with you till 7 o'clock. And we'll also sprinkle in some conversation about some other Bears as well right here on the post-game show on ESPN 1000.
The new home of the Chicago Bears.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HOUSE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HOUSE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HOUSE.
Hey, it's Carmen, and I've got the golf course for you, a championship-style course, quiet atmosphere, unrivaled course conditions. I'm talking about Stonewall Orchard Golf Club. Stonewall Orchard's been one of my favorite courses in Chicagoland for years. Check them out up north in Central Lake County. Their pristine country club course conditions are a huge draw. They have been the host site for the Illinois PGA, several U.S. Open qualifiers, and currently the Korn Ferry Tour qualifier. Treat yourself to one of the finest must-play courses in the Midwest. Go to stonewallorchard.com and book a tee time today.
Hey, it's your friend Tom Waddle here. The team at Great Clips knows that we all live very full lives. It's the reason they're always coming up with new ways to make getting a great haircut easier. Take, for instance, online check-in. With online check-in, Great Clips works on your schedule. They have features that help you see where you are in line, get a ready next text so you know when to go to the salon, and a haircut reminder feature that reminds you that you haven't been in quite some time. Another feature I love is Clip Notes. They save your haircut details so you can get the same look you love from the skilled stylist each and every time. Now, look, I have no idea what I'm doing with my hair, okay? Who remembers what clipper setting or how long to leave it on the sides? You know who does that? Great Clips does with Clip Notes. It's nice to be on the same page when it comes to your haircut. So even when you're not thinking about your next haircut, Great Clips is. And when you choose Great Clips, it's going to be great. Download their app today. And if you're interested, join a salon team. Visit jobs.greatclips.com.
When your cat's a me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse, and you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
If you're the one always sneaking swing oil past the marshal and serving up birdie juice for no actual reason, we might have a match made in golf heaven. Swanee's Golf is a brand dedicated to suiting you up in the best feeling, best looking, and best made golf gear available. We believe pars are cause for celebration, and that looking like $1 million shouldn't cost $1 million. From polos to hats, layers to shorts, Swanee's has the freshest looks that easily transition from regular life to the course, or course to life. Instantly upgrade your style at swanees.co.
What's up? It's Jay Hood. Visit Hollywood Casino Aurora this summer for exciting live sports action. We've got the biggest screens around, and ESPN Bet is live in Illinois. Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win. Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today. Hollywood Casino Aurora is your live sports headquarters. Bring your crew for all the action. Must be 21 years or older to gamble and enter the casino. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or text GAMB to 833-234.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding a unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Second and 10 for Bagent, 2-by-2 formation, floats it down to right side, one-handed catch to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! Dante Pettis, again, perfect touch, leads him down to the right corner of the end zone, down the sideline for 6. Wow.
So for all the Caleb Williams talk, it's probably not going to get nearly as much attention. In fact, I know it won't, but Tyson Bagent went 7 for 8, 87 yards, threw a couple of touchdown passes, including the one you heard right there. Both of his touchdown passes went to Dante Pettis, and Tyson Bagent continuing. I think we're going to have to start calling him the Archer, because we see him in practice slinging those arrows, pantomiming every time he throws a touchdown pass. Today, he had a couple, looked good yet again, and again, very composed in the pocket for Tyson Bagent, which in the NFL, to have a guy on your bench who you feel comfortable with, if you have to turn to him for 2-4 games, who can get you by and maybe win, go 2-2 or 3-1 if you're fortunate during that stretch, and feel like you have a guy who can do that. It looks like, again, Tyson Bagent is just carrying over from last year, and he's improving as well.
And talking about Tyson, but the biggest winner the last 2 weeks is Dante Pettis. Right?
Yeah.
So Colin Johnson goes out, has a great game, the Hall of Fame game, right? Mm-hmm. Ryan Poles during the third quarter is in the booth with Joniak and Thayer talking about how hard it is going to be to make this roster, right? So competitive. He said, I'm going to be up all night breaking down this 53-man roster, right? Well, Dante Pettis, we heard Coach Flus talk a couple weeks ago, talk about, hey, you can lose your job. You can lose your spot due to injury. And I'm not saying Colin Johnson had a spot locked up, but he was on his way to making a case to make this roster. Now, Dante Pettis, who didn't really do anything the first, Hall of Fame game, didn't get an opportunity. What does he do the last 2 weeks? He goes out, 3 touchdowns. He's just been making plays. So he's put himself in the conversation of locking up one of these roster spots.
Also somebody who will be valuable on the roster, knowing that he can return punts and kicks if and when called upon. So the roster crunch is absolutely going to be real, whether it's, we know we've talked about it a lot. Velus Jones, who had 6 carries for 13 yards today, he tried to make a play on a punt. I just have to say it so for the folks, Pat, who did not see it, he, as a gunner on the punt, got down there, should have made Velus. It could have been a really nice play. It's a tough play, but it just seems like every time something could be on the verge of happening for Velus, it doesn't. And instead of pinning the Bengals back at the 1, he ends up stepping into the end zone.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a tough play. I'm saying it's tough because that should be a routine play.
Yes.
Right. So if you're a gunner and you have the punter places that ball exactly where you want it to be, you have to have the awareness, right? You got to know where you're on the field. You're expected to down that ball.
Yes, that's your job.
And I like Velus, and I want him to make this club. You know what I mean? I understand the running back experience and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like, you are going to make this team based upon what you do on special teams, and that right there is a cause for concern.
Boys, if he makes this team, he's got something. He's got something on somebody up there. He's got some pictures. What have you seen? Literally, like somebody tell me, and this is the thing. It's not that I don't want Velus on this team. I do think that Velus can be a weapon, but there's better weapons. If I come to you with a bow and arrow and I'm fighting a bear, I might be able to do something with it, but I'd rather have the shotgun. We got shotguns on this team. I don't need a Velus Jones on this team. This shouldn't even be a continued discussion. He hasn't done anything to impress in any of these games. He didn't do much to impress last season, and we want to keep him on the team for what? 2 plays, end arounds, and outside zone runs? Because he hasn't done good on special teams. There's better special teamers. Colin Johnson, somebody you brought up, yes, the touchdown catches were amazing, but he made an impact play defensively on special teams in his first preseason showing, right, at the gunner position. So, at this point, the fact that there's even a conversation on, is he going to make the team or not? He's the 6th best running back on this team. He's the 6th best receiver on this. 6 might be tough.
Yeah, I was like,
6 might be tough. He's the 4th best kick returner on this team based on what we've seen in preseason right now. And he can't play both ways on special teams. Yeah. How does he make this team? Somebody make a case for
it.
They
love him. They love him.
And
I mean, listen,
that though is the sentiment up at Hallis Hall.
him.
And listen, I'm with you, Pat. It is staggering to me outside of pedigree. And J-Mac, that will buy you so many chances in this league. It's really the only thing. And it's so crazy that in the NFL, where what you can do on the field and your ability and time after time, what you put on tape seems to be the difference maker for every player. The only thing that trumps that is a guy who was drafted high. And Velus Jones is a 3rd round pick. And maybe he has that extra sentimental value to Ryan Poles because he was his first offensive player ever selected. I don't know why. At this point, you would think you've done such great work.
Yeah.
That we'll see. It's going to be fascinating. And I'll just go back to, it makes you wonder too, on the last Hard Knocks episode, they're featuring Velus Jones. They're showing you the off tackle runs, the end arounds that he's having success again, though. And to your point and everybody else's point who said it, what plays are going to be run when Velus Jones is in the ball game as at running back until he proves otherwise. So the defense, you're very one dimensional when he's in the football game. So that doesn't help you a whole lot. But the crazy thing was, you wonder, does Hard Knocks know a little more than they're letting on or is it just them trying to be good storytellers? The quote was at the end of his preseason game last week. The quote was, "The prognosis for Velus Jones looks excellent." That was Liev Schreiber's narration over after he was scoring a touchdown last week. So I just wonder, because it seems obvious to everybody else. All right, plenty more to go. I see Chase is on the line. We'll bring him in, let him have a conversation with us. And again, talking plenty of Bears and Bengals after a 27-3 victory over Cincinnati at Soldier Field. Will any Bears starters play next Thursday against the Chiefs? We'll talk about that. Plenty more to do here on the post-game show on ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago. We all know going solar is a great way to help create a healthier, cleaner planet. But the first step is finding a solar solution that makes sense for you. You may have questions about cost and convenience. ComEd has answers and tools like a solar calculator to help you see all your options. You don't even need solar panels to benefit from solar power. You just need the right information. Go to comed.com/solar to find a solar solution that works for you.
Hey guys, it's Sylvie. I want to tell you about my friends at Window Nation. Call them today at 866-90-NATION, and everyone is talking about Window Nation. Not only did I replace my windows in the kitchen, in the master bedroom, and in my kids' room, I went back for a second year in a row and replaced my windows in the living room. I get tweets from our listeners all the time telling me, hey, Sylvie, I just got my new windows from Window Nation. And right now, they're celebrating their anniversary. Happy anniversary to Window Nation. And you can celebrate as well with great deals. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free with no limit. So buy 4, you'll get 4 free. Plus, you'll have no interest payments for 24 months. And on top of all of that, they'll give you an extra $250 credit as well. So call my guys at Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. You got to hurry, though. The sale ends on August 31st. It's windownation.com or 866-90-NATION.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Postgame continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
Snap to Caleb Williams. Dancing, moving in the pocket. Pressure escapes. Spins to his left. On the move again outside the numbers. Now he's going to tuck it and go, and Turlin Jenkins in front. He's in for the touchdown. A scramble of 7 for number 18. Caleb Williams finishes off the drive, and the Bears extend their lead to 9-zip over the Bengals with 1:33 to go in the half.
He scrambled for 7, but he probably ran for 40 on the play. But it was a fantastic-looking run that resulted in his first touchdown, leading the Bears down the field as a member of the Chicago Bears. They, of course, had picked up 3 field goals prior to that on Caleb Williams-led drives. That was the first drive that he led that resulted in a touchdown. And it seemed like he was looking to throw. He was trying to find someone for that, to make his first touchdown, a passing touchdown. But it ended up being, he took the seas opened up for him along the sidelines. He's like, I'm just going to take it and go. After making magic, he made a couple of Chiefs defenders look like fools. They're diving at his feet. He's
Bengals defender.
I'm sorry, Bengals. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You already next week. He's playing.
Yes.
He's making Chiefs defenders looks
City
like
barbecue.
fools.
You're thinking about that KC barbecue.
I've heard about the tacos down there.
But Caleb Williams on that play was just absurd. Jumping around a couple of Bengals defenders and then getting out of the pocket yet again, looking upfield, nothing there. And then he ultimately pulls the ball down and then just takes it into the end zone. You heard the call there by Jeff Joniak. Was a good moment for him. He actually talked about how it was cool to go ahead and take that one in and how good the home crowd sounded at Soldier Field.
For it to be a preseason game and things like that, they showed up. When I ran through the end zone, it was pretty sick. The roar that the guys had when Rome, and I noticed this after I handed or tossed it to Rome, when he caught that little, behind me around, play, the crowd started roaring and things like that. So it's really cool to be able to have that love and them show up and show out.
And I will tell you, it's going to be even louder on opening day against the Titans for sure. 312-332-3776. Taking your calls. Jason McKee, Pat the Designer, Jeff Meller here on the post-game show. Let's go on out to the South Side. Chase, What's going on, bud? How you doing, man? Thanks for your patience.
Hey, what's happening, fellas? How you guys doing?
What's going on,
Good,
my guy? How
Chase.
you feeling, Chase?
I'm all right. Yeah, so as I was watching that game, one of the things that I've still told you guys before, that I like the play call. I like the play design. I like the fact that he gave him some throws to get him in a rhythm. What people got to understand that, I think that last week everybody was so overwhelmed by his performance, and we all was like, oh, God, he looks like he couldn't do nothing wrong. But we also had to be down to earth, like Sylvie made a great point saying it's going to be a bumpy ride. I mean, we still got to remember he's still a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to make errors. It's going to happen. This is going to happen. I believe he sort of had jitters too. I think he was a little excited, a little nervous. You could see the excitement on his face. I think and it's nothing against Justin. Let's take this out of content. But you could just see the smile on his face. He's always smiling. He's always happy. And I'm not saying Justin did, but you can look at Justin. Sometimes he just looks so demoralized and like he never had his energy level was so, I don't know if it just rubbed off on teammates, but it seemed like Caleb is always happy, smiling. He just looked like he's just having fun out there. And it sets the tone for the team. And the team is this energy to the locker room, to the fans. And then it just takes time. He's not going to be perfect. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to throw some picks. I mean, even though, and that's the thing, he hasn't even turned the ball over, which is even more impressive, is that he's been careful with the ball. But I think the fans need to understand that this is going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to be a fun bumpy ride though. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be peaches and cream. It's going to take time. But as a fan, I am optimistic. But one thing I will say, and I'll let you guys go, is the defense. The fact that we got some ballers on this defense that are young. Kyler Gordon really stepped his game up, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with him. He looks like he's due for a breakout season. So I'll let you guys take over after that. You guys have a good night.
You too, Chase.
All right, Chase.
The one thing I'll say to what Chase said, we as Bears fans, and it's because of what we've been through as fans in this city, right? We just expect that things are going to go the wrong way. We expect that it's not going to work out for us. And so when I hear people say things like, oh, strap in, boys, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Well, it depends on how many bumps in the road you get. How many bumps in the road CJ Stroud had last year? Yeah, I mean, there was some bumps. There was some moments, right? He ended up getting a concussion, right? Like he ended up, what was it, like third or fourth game, one of them where he threw a bunch of picks. Like he had a couple rough games, and you're like, there it is. But like bumps in the road, like I feel like people think the bumpy road is from week 1 to week 17. Sometimes you just hit a couple bumps. You just I hit a bump. That was crazy. I had to make sure I didn't crack my rim. And then you drive fine the rest of the way. I think that with Caleb Williams, the one thing that leads me to believe that there's going to be less bumps in the road is the things we're seeing IQ-wise from him pre-play. I think about the scramble play last week when he was able to diagnose 3 different things that are happening defensively, and he adjusts his game to it. I think about this week, right, when the pocket started to break down around him, the pocket awareness. Those things are going to lessen the bumps. The bumps in the road usually come from guys who have to be taught those things throughout the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think it means a young quarterback, new system, new terminology. Everything's new for him. New city, new teammates, new offensive coordinator. Like, we can't expect him to come out here and throw 3 touchdown passes a game. Now, we'll take it if he does. Like, hey, less bumps on the road, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be a game in which he struggles. But at the same time, you just see the talent that he has, the potential that he has. And it's just good to see that. Like, I know, Jeff, you've been on him since he was in college, right? And the one thing that we would always question last year when we were talking about the possibility of Caleb Williams being in Chicago was, remember, I want to see it translate on the NFL level.
Absolutely.
We're starting to see that. And I don't care if it's the 2s, the 1s, or whatever. We're seeing this in an NFL environment against NFL level talent. And we're seeing that, the things they did in college, the highlight plays, the off-schedule throws, is translating. So, there's going to be times where he's going to struggle, but I just think he's built for this, right? He's been in a big market out there in LA. He's been in the limelight since he was high school. He's the number 1 overall prospect coming out of high school. He's been on a pedestal in terms of quarterback since he's been in high school. So he's built for this, and he handles it. He handles it with poise, and we saw that today. 3 and outs. He comes back for the half, leads a drive. Everybody's excited. I mean, they were even chanting Caleb as he walked into the locker room.
Of course. Like, and you can see why, because the exciting plays that, again, if you're a Bears fan, you're an NFL fan. You've seen time and time again. We've seen Aaron Rodgers do it to us as Bears fans for way too long. And we've seen Patrick Mahomes do the plays that, again, it's very small sample size and understandable that it's preseason, but Caleb Williams is making the plays that those guys make, right? It's even when the defense has a defense set up for you, the things that you cannot account for, right? Being able to manipulate the pocket, change it, throw from different platforms. And then when all else fails, having the ability to still run for the first down. It's as a defense. I mean, J-Mac, you can talk about it. Like when you're going against that type of athlete who has the ball in his hands every single play, it is demoralizing to defenses. How many times have we seen Pat Mahomes make an absurd play where it seemed like the defender had him in his grasp, and then he just scampers ahead for a 12-yard gain on a 3rd and 11, right? Like those are just, as a head coach or a defensive coordinator, those are soul crushing because it's like you had the right defense called, and yet that guy did that special thing that you can't account for.
Yeah, you can't defend. It's like some of the talent that you can't defend it. You know what I mean? And it's demoralizing for a defense to where, okay, you call a perfect blitz, right? You think you have him. He escapes. Now you got infighting in the huddle. You got the secondary saying, "Can you get him? Can you get to him?" Yeah. And then the D line saying, "Well, can you cover somebody?" Of course. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's tough. It's exhausting. You got to defend every single blade of grass out there because you have a quarterback that will extend plays. We saw that last week, right? We saw he's willing to sit in the pocket. We saw that on the screen pass to DeAndre Swift last week. He sat there. He evaded the rush. He sat there. I'm going to make this play work. We saw it today, right? The one that didn't count to Rome, where he scrambled out to his right, threw the ball in the back of the end zone to Rome. Rome was out of bounds, right? He's willing to sit in there, and he's going to maximize the potential of every play that he can make.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing to see. Another quarterback who has had some success in this league, a man who was on the sidelines today, didn't get in action, but played against the Bears on Thursday in their joint practice. Joe Burrow talked about how valuable it is for the Bears to be giving Caleb Williams all these snaps and deeming him their starter from day one.
Yeah, I think those reps are so valuable. I think you have to start him right away because you learn so much in that first year when you're getting those reps. And when you come in and you're named the starter immediately, I'll never quite understand when you draft a guy that you know is going to be your starter, but then you don't name him your starter immediately. And so then he misses out on all those reps with the ones that, you would have had you just come in as the starter. And that's what, was great about my situation. Zach told me I was the starter as soon as I got drafted, and I got all those reps with the ones in training camp. We didn't have OTAs that year, but those reps are so valuable, and every rep you grow and you learn so much from. So I think that's always a challenge if that doesn't happen.
That's only going to accelerate the learning curve, is all these reps that he's getting here in this first season. I don't want to put a ceiling on it because I know he is a rookie quarterback, but to your point, Pat, about the success that CJ Stroud had just a year ago is part of the reason why I think, playoffs are certainly not out of bounds to talk about. Now, yes, they're in a difficult division, but I think Ryan Poles has done a great job of giving him as many weapons as possible. And if Ryan Poles is right in his assessment of players like Ryan Bates and, Coleman Shelton can step in and be a serviceable center. And I have liked what I've seen from Matt Pryor. They've put enough depth, hopefully in front of Caleb Williams on the offensive line, that if they have to navigate a rocky situation with Nate Davis, where maybe he can't be relied upon, you hopefully have enough depth. And again, J-Mac, you can talk about this, but the offensive line is the one spot on the field where the unit supersedes the individuals. It's more, they have to work together. They have to know each other's movements. And above all else, consistency, continuity is very helpful. If the Bears can get that from their offensive line, even though it's a concern for everybody, and I think rightfully so, I think it's one of those things where it could end up being better than some people expect it to be.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a unit in which communication is key. Communication is paramount. Like, it doesn't matter what your skill set is as an individual. We all got to be on the same page based upon pass protection, run blocking, whether it's a zone scheme, a gap scheme. Like, we all got to communicate and be on the same page. And I've noticed on the offensive line, successful offensive lines, right? They have that guy, that leader, that pro that rallies everybody together, like the quarterback of the offensive line, which is usually the center. We had a great center, Nolan Cruz, who was that guy.
Absolutely.
And these guys are, one offensive lineman stays after practice, we're all going to stay after. We eat together. We have O-lineman dinners. Like, that chemistry, like you said, and that continuity, like you said, Jeff, is very important. But it's also very important for a young rookie quarterback to be on to be able to communicate with his offensive line as well, to be on the same page, to get a feel for what those guys are doing and what they're thinking in terms of certain protections and stuff like that in the passing game. So it's huge. That continuity is huge, and that's something that we haven't seen here in a long time. But you got to have depth because we know what's going to happen.
I think here's the O-line to me. Yes, you need the depth. But here's the question. I said this on the Chicago Bears podcast with Courtney this week, the 5 things we really wanted to watch for. And my number 5 thing was, if you insert Nate Davis into this mix, does it get worse? It got worse today. The offensive line wasn't horrible. It wasn't the worst offense. We've seen some bad O-lines in our time here. But the offensive line definitely took a step back. Caleb looked less protected. He looked like he had to vacate the pocket. We love the exciting throws, but a lot of those exciting throws come from the fact that he didn't have a pocket to stand in. That to me, I don't know if it raises the question of what do you do with Nate Davis, because I think that you do have to see it. There is something to be said that he practiced for 3 days, right? And he's kind of getting his legs back under him. He's going to have to shake the rust off. But you saw an offensive line in front of Caleb Williams that, while Ed Oliver and Von Miller weren't out there, it looked really solid. There was a pocket for him to stand in. There was time for him to deliver the football. We didn't see that today. If this is worse, do you put your rookie quarterback behind it continuously?
Well, I mean, you brought it up. I didn't necessarily intend on playing this, but Nate Davis did meet the media Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really been available to the media in the entire press conference setting. Oftentimes it'll be in the locker room, a smaller setting. But of course, because he's been, for whatever reason, at times not available to play, to practice, he was sent to the podium on Thursday and listened to his answers to some, I think, fair questions. Yeah. And this is how he responded to them.
How has it been just like navigating soft tissue stuff, like where it feels like stop start on different days? Like, how do you battle through that?
Support system I have from the coaches, my teammates, and once again, just taking it day by day. So it's been good.
Coach Flus rarely speaks in terms of injuries about what that could or could not mean for a starting position or player time. He did speak to that as it alluded to you. Did you hear that? Did you find any type of motivation or urgency to get back?
No, I didn't hear that. I don't really pay attention to social media.
What do you feel like you can accomplish this year individually? What do you hope to go out there and prove?
Just to show the world, the type of player I really am, especially when I'm healthy. So when the mind's right, the body's good. I know I'm, a special player. So, I'm just excited to showcase that.
How big of an achievement, just like being able to stack multiple days of practice together for you? How big of an achievement does that feel?
It's something that I've done throughout my career. So I can't really say it's an achievement. I'm just happy to be back out with the guys.
You said you feel like when your mind is right, your body's good. If anybody, do you feel like your mind is right and your body's good?
I do. Yeah, I feel great.
Nate, there's a perception on the outside that you don't like to practice. Is that fair?
No. Like I said, I've been in this league for a long time. I don't think I'll be able to do what I did without practicing.
Several problems.
He's certainly entitled to answer the questions however he'd like, but it does feel like somebody who is ignoring the conversation surrounding him. And to the one point about ignoring social media, it wasn't social media. It was your head coach.
Yeah, it wasn't the question that was asked either.
Who said directly that you can lose your job because of injury.
Yeah, it wasn't the question that was asked. I literally I left that press conference because I was up there. Shout out to Peggy, by the way, asking the hard-hitting questions. She's like, I'm up here one time out of the month. Like, hey, do you like to practice? No, I love that. But I literally left that press conference. I was like, I wonder if he knows Matt Eberflus is his head coach. Like, I wonder if he knows anybody outside of the training room that's on the staff here. Because I'm sorry. I understand it. And yes, you can have the confidence. But I've been in this league for a long time. You have to practice. the coach before you got rid of you because you didn't practice. You're in this league right now because Ryan Poles thought that may change when you came here. And so he's willing to give you the contract. It seems like that's a bad decision now. But let's not sit here and pretend like Nate Davis being out there is all of a sudden a new thing. This is a thing that followed him from his time in Tennessee. And when Mike Vrabel was asked about why would you get rid of a player like this, his only response was, we like guys here that practice. But Nate Davis probably didn't hear that. He probably missed it because it was on social media.
He doesn't pay attention to social media. That's the one thing that's concerning to me. I'm glad he's getting back out there on the field, but it's concerning to me to hear him respond to that stuff. It seems like a lack of accountability from a player. We'll see. And if that's the case, I don't think he'll be here for the long haul. It's just
no. And that's why I asked the question. If you don't have a player, and J-Mac, you've been in the locker rooms where y'all had a strong, I would love for Nate Davis to have been in the locker room with Olin Cruz. Oh my God. But where you had a strong player's voice.
Yeah. I mean, it was
the players have to realize we looked better without him out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I can only go back to when I was in the locker room. I can't say that those guys in the locker room now aren't saying things to him.
Sure.
Like, dude, why aren't you practicing today? I'm not in there. So I don't want to speculate that they're not. I can just go to what I know and what I've seen. When we had guys not practicing, we're looking at you literally sideways like, well, why aren't you practicing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to achieve a goal. Like, we're trying to win a division.
Olin told you, like, I tore my quad. He's like, what's that got to do with it?
Yeah, but at the same time, though, even as players, when you're hurt, it's tough because you want to be out there with your guys. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would think. But, I don't know. Every player is different. But I know our locker room, there would have been is a little different. And I'm not, like I said before, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what they're doing. But if you came out there and you didn't have your pads on and wearing full pads in your practice jersey and you're able to go, we're asking, why isn't he practicing? We're asking you. I'm coming to you. Yeah. Not going behind your back. Hey, why aren't you practicing? You know what I mean?
Of course.
We need you.
It's a fair question.
Not trying to throw you under the bus, but we need you out here with us. You're one of our guys.
Yeah.
We need you.
It's the combination of everything, though, right? It's the press conference.
Yes.
It's the J-Mac, you were there that day. The effort on the battle ropes. Like, are you trying to get back? I'm watching Kyler Gordon over here go crazy on what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm out here. For the people on YouTube, it was just a light lift back and forth. There was no waves going through it at all. Like, when you see these things consistently, the body language to me is screaming, I'm making $10 million a year. I'm set.
I got mine. Yes. Well, reading the tea leaves, we'll see how it plays out. But wouldn't be surprised at all if when that first depth chart is released, we find Nate Davis not listed as the starter. He's going to have to improve it. I'm just saying, I'm reading the tea leaves.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to be let go because you're already committed with his contract. There's really nothing to be gained from releasing him. So it's probably better to have him at least on the roster as a possible backup. But I'll just say it, man. If Ryan Bates gets back healthy and Coleman Shelton continues to play a solid job, do a solid job at center, helping Caleb make the calls, it's going to be very easy to slot Ryan Bates in there as your starting right guard.
Yeah. Don't be surprised if he's a starting right guard when it comes out. He's like, Flus came out and said, right, he threw the shot at him, trying to hold him accountable. But at the same time, they love him. That's what they brought him here for. You knew before he came here that there was issues with him in practice. You still paid him. So at the end of the day, don't be surprised if he's starting right guard.
Okay. Good counterpoint and perspective. I hear you there. So I'm just saying, though, they're putting it out there as the possibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs to start to get out there and practice. And what we just heard from him didn't sound like a guy who is extremely excited about doing that on a day in and day out basis. 312-332-3776. Got about, we're going to hang out till 7:00 with you on the post-game show, talking a Bears victory over the Bengals 27-3 right here on ESPN 1000.
The new home of the Bears.
Do you have a baseball field, basketball arena, or football stadium named after you? Your insurance company might. While you're paying your insurance premium every month, do you ever wonder where that money goes? According to published reports, in 2013, the insurance industry was second in the nation in money paid to lobbyists. They spent even more on lobbyists than Big Oil did. When you're paying your insurance company every month, they're paying for TV commercials with high-priced actors trying to convince you that you're in good hands, they're on your side, and they're your neighbor. But are they really looking out for you? If you think the premiums you're paying every month are being kept in an account with your name on it for that rainy day when you get injured, you're sadly mistaken. Oftentimes, it's spent on lobbyists and sports arenas. If you want a law firm that will stand up to this trillion-dollar insurance industry, call the Verdoliak Law Group. We've been fighting for injured people for over 55 years. Call 844-4VLG-LAW.
FinishingChicago.com's decorative finishing contractors can transform your commercial spaces for staff, tenants, and customers alike. Our contractors' dedication to safety ensures everyone, including the assets of your building itself, are taken care of from start to amazing finishes. Visit FinishingChicago.com for your free list of decorative contractors specializing in decorative painting, wall covering, drywall finishing, glass systems, and custom signage. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Parent Petroleum, its customers, and the Parent Petroleum Foundation work together to support local charities in an effort to give back to the community. During their annual Pump-a-thon event, with every gallon of gas purchased in the month of August, fuel retailers donate a portion of their sales to 4 great charities: Folds of Honor, Living Well Cancer Resource Center, Casa Kane County, and the Chicago Blackhawks Foundation. Be on the lookout for Pump-a-thon signage at a participating gas station near you. Learn more at parentpetroleum.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam Abdallah. Football is approaching, and it's time to get in on all of the action early this season. You can bet on player props like touchdowns, total passing yards for the season, and more. You can get in on great team markets like whether or not a team will make the playoffs, win the division, and possible Super Bowl matchups. And you can even parlay those together for even bigger payouts. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for the football season than on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NFL. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/Abdallah to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/Abdallah, ABDALLA. You must be 21 or over and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Swannies is here with a fresh take. Performance-based materials are a given these days. But if you're looking for the stretchiest and most lightweight pieces that deliver a look that says, I'm here for a good time, then take a walk on the Swanee side. With fabric sourced from recycled plastics and designs sourced from our very own weekend warriors, Swannies is looking out for both our planet and those that need a little style to boost their drive an extra 15 yards. Eco-friendly and fashion-forward gear now available at swannies.co.
Next Friday, Twin Peaks in Cherville, the site for our greatest Carmen and Yurko live broadcast ever.
You're just excited because it's so close to your home.
A home game, Carmen. The crowd goes wild.
Oh, boy.
Join us for a preseason tailgate. You got your 29-degree ice-cold brews, delicious wings, maybe a little bit of pot roast.
Love that pot roast. It's next Friday, noon to 3 at Twin Peaks in Cherville, down the street from Casa de Yurko.
Oh, it's lovely this time of year.
Meet the crew and dive into all the football fun.
Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Please enjoy responsibly.
FinishingChicago.com's decorative finishing contractors can transform your commercial spaces for staff, tenants, and customers alike. Our contractors' dedication to safety ensures everyone, including the assets of your building itself, are taken care of from start to amazing finishes. Visit FinishingChicago.com for your free list of decorative contractors specializing in decorative painting, wall covering, drywall finishing, glass systems, and custom signage. For a great finish, start with FinishingChicago.com.
Post-game continues now on the new home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer.
The post-game show here on ESPN 1000, your home of the Chicago Bears. I'm Jeff Meller, along with Jason McKee, who was on the sidelines of today's Bears and Bengals game, just as he is during every Bears game. And Pat the Designer, you can catch the Chicago Bears podcast on the ESPN Chicago app Monday through Friday. Plenty of Bears coverage for you there. If you don't get enough on ESPN 1000, you know Pat's got you covered every day during the week, so check that out as well. And we're here after every Bears game, breaking it down on the post-game show. We've talked a lot about Caleb Williams, rightfully so. Nice to see Williams-Odunze get on the stat sheet as well with the big catch, the play that went viral, the 45-yard reception. He, of course, had the end around that J-Mac talked about earlier in the show, and we've also hit on the incompletion that Rome should have gotten his feet down and what would have been a touchdown pass before Caleb Williams went and scampered into the end zone for his touchdown run during the game. He could have had that pass had Rome just gotten his feet down. Oh, yeah. But nevertheless, good offensive display. And then even better in the second half when the Bears had a chance to go up against the third and fourth stringers for the Bengals, because the Bengals started mostly second stringers today, or even some third stringers, decided to bench pretty much all of their key starters today. So they did not take part for the Cincinnati team. But the Bears offense looked good well into the second half. That's when they really put on a display. Both Tyson Bagent and Brett Rippon looked good in the second half for the Bears. And the defense, yet again, doing a really nice job, not giving up a touchdown, only giving up 3 points. Daniel Hardy grabbing himself another sack today. Kyler Gordon also on the nickelback blitz, just lighting up the it was Logan Woodside. Yes. It was not even Jake Browning. Jake Browning wasn't even sent out in this game for the Bengals, but Logan Woodside. I listen, Kyler Gordon, props to him, but boy, Logan Woodside had no awareness at all on that play. He almost got himself air hold on that one, boys.
Yeah, he did. It was, but the thing about it is, right, when you look at, Kyler Gordon on that play, you also look at Josh Blackwell had another play like that, later on in the game. It's like, yeah, they did not ID him in terms of protection from the offense, but like the timing that Kyler Gordon had on that, the timing that Josh Blackwell had on his, that led to an interception by my
Terrell
guy
Smith, right?
No, Ayo.
Yeah.
We at the broadcast we call him Ayo because his last name is
Agbang Bamiga.
Yeah,
Agbang Bamiga.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Got to do it slow.
But that was off of Josh Blackwell, hitting the quarterback, getting that ball tipped, and Ayo came up with the ball.
Not even gonna try.
So but it's the timing, but it's also like the calls, like whether Coach Washington or Coach Flus was calling the defense today. I think it was Coach Washington.
Yeah, he's been calling the defense through preseason.
Yeah, he's dialing it up at the right time. So it's good to see that a defense who had so many takeaways the second half of the season, right? Early on, like we say, it's preseason, I understand, but they're getting the takeaways, right? We saw Terrell Smith in the game. We saw him, he left practice on Thursday early, but he's in the game, made a big play.
Yes.
So when healthy, we saw Terrell Smith make plays as a rookie last year. Like it's good to see so many playmakers, especially on defense. And on that back end, Jonathan Owens, he's gonna flash. He's gonna come in.
Yep.
He's gonna lay it. He's gonna give you a knot if you're on offense. He's gonna come in there and give you all these guys. So it's exciting to see that you have all these young talent on this defense, guys actually flying around, and we're really starting to see the hits principle. Because last year, the first half of the season, it was like there wasn't no hits principle. Like we were getting hit, but there wasn't no hits principle. And then we got the sweat trade and everything, and that really turned things around. But it's good to see them picking up where they left off.
You mentioned Jonathan Owens, of course. Obviously, Simone Biles' husband. Mm-hmm. That's the hard thing. He's got, we'll have to. It's a hard thing to, to try and leave there because that's just the way people know you. But Jonathan Owens has been a starter in this league. He was a starter for the Texans back in 2022, and played a lot for the Packers last year. I think he started some for them as well.
Because they had some injury issues.
Yeah, he did.
So he's a guy who, if needed to, we're talking the depth on this roster, and I know. You mentioned it to us off the air, Pat. There's going to be some guys who, when the Bears have to make their cut down to the 53-man roster, that you're going to be disappointed because there are a lot of guys making a lot of impact plays.
No, 100%. And I think here's what gets me so excited about this defense. And even as we watched through it today, right, was those guys on the back end, your twos, your threes, being that good is going to push your ones to have to be better. This is a job where you can lose your job. We say Tyreek Stevenson is the number 2 DB, but guess what? If Tyreek Stevenson plays like he played in the first half of the year, hey, I might have to take a look at Terrell Smith a little bit, right? So you got to maintain that play level that you had the second half of the season where you wasn't allowing. I think he allowed 7 touchdowns through the first pre-Montez Sweat trade. I think post-Montez Sweat trade, he only allowed 2. but you still allowed, I think he's tied for the most touchdowns allowed by a DB last season, right? So, like, you have to be on your P's and Q's because this is legitimately a position with this defense that they can come in and get your job. And I think that that's something that just having that level of talent, first off, is different for what we've seen on this team over the last few years, but having that level of talent is just pushing your ones to maintain that level of play. And you're seeing that week in and week out in practice. And offensively, right, you've got some of those same things now. We're sitting here talking about guys who you almost have to make a conversation for, right? You're sitting here, right, the Velus Jones of the world, the Nate Davises, where you're like, okay, but is this guy here, right? We were having the conversation off air. You know, if Nate Davis doesn't play well, Matt Pryor looked good in there. Does Matt Pryor get some look, right? Having those kind of conversations, it just pushes your ones to have to be better because there is an option versus what we've been in where let's be real. That first year Flus wide receiver core, we were just like, do people catch? Like, are there any options out here? Like, we had Equinemius St. Brown, Darnell Mooney, I think, was hurt to start the year. Who was
the first
Mr. Fumble Rooski? Was it Amir Marset Smith or Mazaret?
Demir Bird? Was it?
We did have a Demir Bird on the team. Was it Amir Smith Marset?
Yes,
that is
Amir Smith Marset.
Yeah, Marset.
Like at that point, we were just like, you're on the team because like there's nobody else here.
They've come a very long way. However, we should mention, you know, it was revealed earlier this week when the Atlanta Falcons traded for Matthew Judon that the Bears were in heavy on trying to make that deal. And of course, the Falcons gave up a 3rd-round pick for Judon, and there is expected to be a hefty contract extension to come with that. That's why Judon wanted out of New England, because they weren't really willing, because of where they're at in their rebuilds, that, you know, they're not really expected to be playing for any type of, you know, successful season this year. So they're basically, well, it's not in their interest to make a long-term deal with Matthew Judon. So the Falcons, who were the runner-up to the Bears in the Montez Sweat trade, were probably a little more desperate and willing to give Matthew Judon the number that he wanted to hear. Scott Pioli mentioned he was up at Hallis Hall the day that trade went down, and he talked about how it was fascinating to have a front row seat while Ryan Poles was on the phone, not just with, you know, Elliot Wolf trying to make a deal, but also with Matthew Judon's agent, understanding that a contract extension was going to have to come with any deal that you were going to make.
Right.
You know, Jets, listen up when you're trading for Hassan Reddick, you know. But so it appears the Bears were certainly willing to give up a 3rd-round pick, but whatever, well, and again, we'll see when that contract comes through, what the Falcons were willing to give Judon. But it's interesting to see, and even I know on the television broadcast, Adam Amin asked Ryan Poles directly, hey, what's, you know, we heard about you guys being in on Judon. You know, what were you guys trying to accomplish there? And Ryan Poles said, hey, listen, if a door opens and an opportunity is there, we want to be willing to walk through it and see if it's, you know, if it makes us better. Paraphrasing. And so love to hear it. And would have been so awesome. That bookend edge rusher with Montez Sweat. I know we were giving all the love to Austin Booker, Daniel Hardy, but man, Matthew Judon would have been sweet.
But the fact that, and this is why, like, hearing from Poles today, how he has put this together. When you hear a team that has DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, when you hear all of those names, you don't think, oh, yeah, we also got $20 million in cap space to work with if you really want to do it. Like, the job that he has done needs to be studied, because it is impressive that the Bears still have that level of flexibility. Oh, by the way, you're also not in a position where you have to go do something, because I got a full slate of draft picks with a couple of extra picks, still getting in on the Panthers. Shout out to Panthers. Still getting in on a Panthers pick if I want to. Or if at midseason somebody's mad, which seems to be the new thing, right? I'm not getting a deal here. I'm not getting the respect that I wanted here. I want out. You can either move that pick, or you can You know what I mean? Like, or you can hold on to it and utilize that for a player. The spot that he has the Bears in right now is, I mean, I don't think we've been set up this well in my life. Like the Jay Cutler offensive Bears had no cap space.
Correct.
Like it was like, this is the team, figure it out.
And the defense suffered because of it. They switched. Forever the Bears invested in the defense, and then they flipped it to surround Cutler with weapons. And then all of a sudden the defense fell off. And that you're so right about that, Pat. Is that cap wise they are set up in a great spot, and this is where we can say kudos for not the Panthers trade that brought DJ Moore here, because I'll tell you what, not only is DJ Moore a consummate professional on the field, but the guy, that wide receiver position time and time again, there's lots of guys who right now are not willing to take a penny less than market value. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Jamar Chase, all want new deals. Yeah. And I think they all want to be paid in the same neighborhood as at least A.J. Brown. And I think if I know wide receivers, they all want Justin Jefferson's deal. And listen.
Me too, shoot. And money.
I'll tell you what, if you're CeeDee Lamb and if you're Jamar Chase, listen, Brandon Ayuk, maybe not as much, but those two guys, I think, have every reason to ask for that. Yeah. And DJ Moore, listen, he was willing to take an extension that was helpful to the Bears. And so Ryan Poles is hitting home runs all over the place.
Yeah, and I think it's also a situation where you see guys, you see a GM that's going to reward guys for making plays, for being consistent. He's going to reward them for what they're worth, and yes, DJ Moore is worth more, but that also goes to show you that, hey, this is where DJ wants to be. What I mean? It's a good coach. It's a good locker room. I like where I'm at. I love the organization. So that's attractive.
The young quarterback you got.
I like the young quarterback. That's attractive to other free agents that'll be coming up. I got a GM that's going to pay us if we do what we're supposed to do. But now I have a destination where if I'm a receiver, I can play with this type of quarterback. If I'm an offensive lineman, I can protect this quarterback. And I got a GM that's going to be willing to reward me if I go out there and put all my talents and I play well, on display. So it's a unique situation that we haven't been in a long time.
Fun times for Bears fans as the future looks very bright. All right, what can you expect to see from the Bears in Kansas City? Who are they going to play? We'll let you hear from the Bears head coach, Matt Eberflus, what he had to say about that. Coming up next right here on the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000.
ESPN Chicago.
We all know going solar is a great way to help create a healthier, cleaner planet. But the first step is finding a solar solution that makes sense for you. You may have questions about cost and convenience. ComEd has answers and tools like a solar calculator to help you see all your options. You don't even need solar panels to benefit from solar power. You just need the right information. Go to comed.com/solar to find a solar solution that works for you.
Are you ready for ultra-reliable, ultra-fast, award-winning internet and better mobile? Experience astounding service and savings tailored to your needs, all from Astound. Call 1-800-4ASTOUND or visit astound.com to get internet for just $20 a month. Add unlimited mobile on one of the nation's largest, most reliable 5G networks free for 12 months. Be astounded and switch today. Restrictions apply. See astound.com for details.
It's golf season, and that means it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook right at your fingertips. Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. Shop the odds on the app for every tournament. Circa Sports has high betting limits, exceptional customer service, and more. Fun and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Get your golf bets in for every tournament. Visit circasports.com today. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's why when it comes to hard work, nothing works harder than a Chevy Silverado. It's built to handle the big jobs day in and day out. Chevy has a Silverado pickup that's just right for you. 1/2 ton, 3/4 ton, and 1 ton. Call it the Goldilocks effect. No wonder Chevy Silverado is the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Check out the full line of Chevy Silverados at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Work hard, play harder in a new Silverado.
Cubs fans, stream Cubs games now. Marquee Sports Network brings you a new way to stream your favorite team. Visit watchmarquee.com to subscribe and stream Chicago Cubs baseball, pre- and post-game shows, exclusive programming, and more. Your Cubs, your way. Subscribe now at watchmarquee.com.
Next Friday, Twin Peaks in Cherville, the site for our greatest Carmen and Yurko live broadcast ever.
You're just excited because it's so close to your home.
A home game, Carmen. The crowd goes wild.
Oh, boy.
Join us for a preseason tailgate. You got your 29-degree ice cold brews, delicious wings, maybe a little bit of pot roast.
Love that pot roast. It's next Friday, noon to 3 at Twin Peaks in Cherville, down the street from Casa de Yurko.
Oh, it's lovely this time of year.
Meet the crew and dive into all the football fun.
Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Please enjoy responsibly.
On average, between 2 and 3 people are killed each day in car accidents with rideshare drivers. According to the University of Chicago, rideshare drivers have directly led to the death of almost 1,000 people per year. While rideshare drivers carry auto insurance, it's important to know that the amount of insurance coverage available often depends upon whether or not the driver is logged onto the rideshare company app and whether there is a passenger in the vehicle. For example, if the driver is logged into their rideshare app, the liability coverage could reach $1 million. If they are not logged into the app, then the rideshare driver is using their own car insurance, which could be much lower coverage. That's why it's important to have a lawyer who knows how to conduct a proper investigation when you're in a rideshare accident. If you've been injured in a rideshare accident, call the Verdoliak Law Group. Call 844-4VLG-LAW. We've been fighting for injured people for 60 years. With over 30,000 clients represented and over $9 billion recovered, Verdoliak Law Group has the resources, knowledge, and experience to fight for you. Call 844-4VLG-LAW.
If you're the one always sneaking swing oil past the marshal and serving up birdie juice for no actual reason, we might have a match made in golf heaven. Swanee's Golf is a brand dedicated to suiting you up in the best feeling, best looking, and best made golf gear available. We believe pars are cause for celebration, and that looking like $1 million shouldn't cost $1 million. From polos to hats, layers to shorts, Swanee's has the freshest looks that easily transition from regular life to the course, or course to life. Instantly upgrade your style at swanees.co.
When your cat's me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse.
And you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more.
Hoping to remodel your home? Looking to build an addition? Think Design First Builders. At Design First Builders, the relationship they build with you will continue to grow throughout the entire remodeling process. From the first encounter, to the new countertop, to all the finishing touches. Design First Builders will help guide you every step of the way. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation. DesignFirstBuilders.com. That's DesignFirstBuilders.com.
Hey golfers, it's Sylvie. I've been talking about Chicago's Southland's finest golf course for years, the Sanctuary in New Lenox. The Sanctuary offers 18 holes of great golf on a beautiful course. The track may be a challenge, but it's an easy drive from anywhere in Chicagoland. Sanctuary features a 20-bay heated top tracer range, a 30-station grass range, a putting green, and a short game area. Check out golfsanctuary.com for the best rates and book your tee time. You no longer need to find your golf sanctuary.
Welcome back to Bears Postgame. Here are your hosts, Jason McKee, Jeff Miller, and Pat the Designer on the new home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago.
We are rolling up our sleeves in the commercial breaks and hacking up the roster here, trying to figure out. We're wondering how many tight ends are going to be on this roster, if Kari Blossomgame is going to have a spot through no fault of his own, but that's just unfortunately, the fullback's gone the way of the dodo, is kind of extinct in the NFL.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kyle Juszczyk in San Francisco, it's just tough to make find a spot. And the Bears have a lot of tight ends.
I'm trying to find me a spot. I got my towel and everything. Hey, Pose, man, if you need me, I'm here, man.
They don't though, J-Mac. They don't.
I know. I can do 5. I can give him 2 plays. Not 5. I can give him 2. I can give him 2.
That's about all they ask for from
that's
fullback
it. I can
these
give him 2
days.
plays.
But you hit the timing just right, J-Mac, because it is just in this league wherever there's motion all over the place, fullbacks are just finding it hard. And we're talking about Brendan Bates, Sweeney,
Carlson,
Stephen
some
Carlson.
good-looking tight ends, man. And they've all made plays. They've all made plays. Like, it's awesome.
And
it's awesome, man.
And here's the thing. I stop and I think, and I'm like, did the Bears really need to sign Mercedes Lewis? Is the question. When we're seeing 3 tight ends, and the reality is, if at best there's probably only going to be one of those guys, they're going to carry 5 tight ends.
No, I would think 4.
I'll say 4. Definitely 4.
I think 4 would be max.
Yeah,
So
I've never seen a team. Has there been a team carry 5? I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to think. Like, it depends on the versatility. If you slide them in to use the H back.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a lot of tight ends.
So and so then where those roster spots come from?
Yeah.
It's just we're scratching our head about the running back room. That's why we keep going back to Velus Jones and wondering how is that a better spot for him to make the rotation. Velus Jones in the running back room seems to be like 5th at best on the pecking order, right? We're talking DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, who DeAndre Swift was dressed, but I was talking with you. He didn't take a snap today.
Yeah, he went through. He was out there for the warm ups, and then he came out and didn't take a snap. So I mean, you got
and he was full participant at
he's been
practice.
Yeah,
he's been practicing.
He's available. He's not hurt.
They're probably just saving wear and tear for him, knowing that he's a guy who in the past has had some history of injury.
Yeah.
And so if they're going to utilize him and get him for 250, 300 touches, like don't burn him here in the preseason is my thought as to that. So you've got Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson. He's banged up.
Yeah, he hasn't been in. He's been out the last 2 games, and a guy who, it would have been good to see. He showed some promise as a rookie, but to see how much more he's developed in a preseason format. Like, these have been some great reps for Roschon.
Absolutely.
And he looked good in the first game.
Yeah.
He looked solid in the first game.
But meanwhile, like Travis Homer looks like he's settling in nicely. He knows Shane Waldron's offense from their days together in Seattle. And we know that he's a 4-phase special teamer.
Yeah, I think he was 2nd in tackles in special teams. I think him and Blackwell were tied for special team tackles last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so listen, for anybody out there who, if you're not really thinking it through, I'd be hard pressed to see Travis Homer not making this team.
Yeah,
it's a lot of scenarios. And it's funny because we're looking at breaking it down by position group, but there's other position groups that's going to affect the one that you're breaking down. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Daniel Hardy, prime example, right? He's on the defensive line, had some sacks. He had another sack today. Made a couple. I think he made a tackle on special teams as well.
Yep.
That plays a part as well because okay, now we got a guy that we can bring in as a situational pass rusher, but also can give us, he can play special teams. He can be on kickoff return, and et cetera. So it's going to be
AO making plays.
AO's making play. I mean, Ryan Post, get it. Ryan Post, get your curry ready. You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
it's. I think what's interesting too is you also have to look at it as you're probably going to keep more bodies because they have some good bodies. You're probably going to keep more bodies at positions that you're weaker at. So on the defensive line, that's a massive question for the Bears right now. I would think that you would probably want to keep more defensive linemen. Does that do more for you missing out on positions at running back, at tight end, whatever it is?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You're going to lose, and the reality is, right, you're going to lose some guys that you want to keep. You think you're going to be able to bring them back on practice squad. There's going to be other teams that's been watching this film. The guy can fit in their system. They're going to bring him in. He's going to be on their 53-man roster. That's just the way of the league.
Yeah, and so we asked Matt Eberflus was asked in the post-game show about what the plan will be for starters playing now that they've hit, they're over that 40 snap mark, that ballpark that he gave us. What's going to be the plan on if Caleb Williams and the starters will play in the final preseason game against the Chiefs? This is what he had to say.
We'll look at the tape and we'll just talk as a group. The players are off tomorrow, so we got the whole day to be able to really digest this performance from every level, including the quarterback. And then we'll just look at each other and say, this is good, or we'll have to, flow into the next one. And we'll see where that is. In terms of what I learned from him is what I've said all along. He always rises to the challenge, and we'll challenge him again this week to improve on basically everything of quarterbacking that he needs to. And he's done that. He's done a really good job of that. And so we'll just look at it like that.
So there you go, Matt Eberflus saying that it's still, they haven't necessarily decided. There's a possibility. And this is the other thing we were talking about. There's 17 games between the final preseason game and their opener at home against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
So
Long time.
that is a long
That's
layoff,
a long time.
especially for a rookie quarterback. So
Man.
I know a lot of people are kind of assuming that they've seen enough now and they may not press the issue.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, we're in a new era of NFL football where there's not, outside of having the Hall of Fame game, which again, the Bears didn't even treat as a real Hall of Fame game because no one played. We're in this newer era now with 3 preseason games. And so we don't quite know how most NFL coaches are approaching it, right? In the past, the 4th preseason game was a game where starters a lot of times didn't even dress. However, with this long layoff in between games, and again, that's 17 games from the Chiefs game to the opener, not counting the extra. Today's Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you really going to go over 20 days between when you're letting your starters step on the field in some game action until they open against the Titans? That's a question that.
Yeah, it's a lot different, man. I can recall the last preseason game, and when you're young and you're trying to make a name for yourself in this league, you're playing the whole game. When I mean the whole game, as soon as you step foot on that field, you ain't coming off.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing. I was offense, punt, return, kickoff, return. I remember I looked to the sideline, look at my running back coach, and I'm looking like I'm tapping my helmet. He's like shaking his head. I'm like, oh my goodness. You're talking about oxygen. Yeah, that's something that you have never experienced. it's unbelievable. But you can't come out.
No.
I gotta stay out here. If I take myself out of this game, I'm not gonna make the team.
were you like trying to run out there?
I was out there
after the offense was off. He's like, no, you got to play defense, dog.
I was out there.
You got some DB reps coming up.
I was out there checking my post, talking to myself, J-Mac, they can't break you. They can't break you.
Fight through the pain.
Man, I'm telling you.
Man. So we'll see who, again, we'll obviously bring you the latest on the home of the Chicago Bears throughout the week, letting you know what the latest news is regarding who will play. But it seems like at least Matt Eberflus left the door open for the possibility. And again, that's something I hit on earlier. The nice thing is that common sense seems to carry the day more often these days up at Hallis Hall. So maybe we'll see a series or 2 from the starters.
Don't be surprised if Patty Moe's out there. If Andy Reid knows, he's like, I don't want my guy. I want to keep him razor sharp.
Did y'all see that pass today?
The behind the back.
Oh my God.
The one that was made.
Nothing surprising me with Patty Moe.
I'm waiting for him to punt one just 60 yards into somebody's hand.
But the funny thing is, during his warm up, and like we talked about earlier, like Caleb even said, I practiced that throw in practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mahomes practices those things in practice.
Yeah.
You see your basketball guy, Steph Curry, you're like, why is he shooting from half court in warm-ups? He gets in the game. What does he do? He shoots from the logo.
He shoots it from half court.
He shoots from the logo.
No, for sure. It's so funny, too, like watching the preparation, being able to see the preparation, being able to see how these guys go through, and you see Caleb in practice. Same passes, same style, same touch every single time. And it's like what Rome said, like you make these plays 1,000 times before you make them in a game. Yeah. He knows how to make them in a game.
Yeah, you're practicing for the unexpected, right?
Mm-hmm.
When are you ever in this league going to have just a clean pocket where you can just set back off of your 3rd step on a 3-step drop, your 5th step on a 5-step drop, and deliver that ball? No, you're going to have to slide. You're going to have to step up. You're going to have to deliver that ball off platform.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to practice for those things.
And it's that practice is paying off.
Yes, it is.
Caleb Williams is delivering viral sensations week after week, and it is a fabulous thing.
Teardrop
from J-Mac's eye. It's going to be a fun season. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on the post-game show. Thank you for listening all out there. We'll be back at it when the Bears start the regular season against the Titans right here on the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000.
Right on. ESPN Chicago.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
8 months of thrilling playoffs, of impossible comebacks, of nerve-shredding putts on the 18th hole. Come down to one final showdown in Chi-Town. Catch Live Golf Chicago at Bolingbrook Golf Club from the 13th to the 15th of September and see John Rahm, Cam Smith, and Bryson DeChambeau in a 3-day battle to crown the new individual champion. 54 players.